This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Oakland Athletics.
And the pitch is swung on, hit the right field, hit deep. Whitefield going back at the track, over his head, and over the wall. Do you believe that?
And 29 other MLB clubs.
Ramirez with a drive to deep right, away back, goal!
Hey, it's a bomb out there by the Rocks. And boy, oh boy, this third inning is now showtime.
It is a judging blast. All rise. Here comes the judge.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe, from humidors to spin rates to game-changing moments. We have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us next from the town, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
I have to tell you, I just got nervous as I just saw the umpires showing up here at the Lou Wolf Training Complex, Fitch Park, as we are getting you ready for fantasy camp here, Oakland A's style. We are in the Valley of the Sun, Mesa, Arizona. Behind us, what you're seeing, and around us, 4 baseball fields, 3 of them packed with campers. I got to tell you, in all my years going way, way back with the Athletics, I've done a lot of cool things. I've crossed the Pacific Ocean multiple times, broadcasted from Japan, Tokyo, Japan, from the Tokyo Dome. I've been all over the country with the Athletics. There's been a lot of cool things that I've done with the Oakland A's, many years doing spring training. But I got to tell you, what I have seen down here in Mesa, Arizona, has really warmed my heart. And if you want to know the joy of just the game of baseball, this is it. To watch grown men and women have such tremendous smiles, gratitude on their faces and in their hearts, what's going down here. This has been a lot of fun, and it has just started. We've always said we want to come down to fantasy camp. We want to see what it's like, because normally the commander and I would come down here, and it would be in about, what, when are we coming down for spring? In about a month?
A little over a month, probably like a month and a week from now.
Yeah, pitchers and catchers report around the 13th or 14th, right around it.
I think it's Valentine's Day, actually.
I think the dates just came out today, but we've been busy working around here. So, but I think it came out today, dates. Well, the pitchers and catchers dates are already out, but I think game dates.
Our first game's February 25th, Saturday.
So, usually we're not down here for a month, but the fact that we're here now and to see all the campers, and games are going to start coming up here in about 10 minutes. So behind us, you're going to see nothing but A's jerseys and people playing at fantasy camp. This is going to be one of the fields. This is field 3. Field 2 is to my right. Switch over to the other camera that we have. You'll see when we're going to bring up guests. Dave Stewart's going to join us, World Series champion, A's Hall of Famer. Terry Steinbach is going to be here, World Series hero, obviously, All-Star Game MVP, the great Carney Lansford, the world champion, the Bay Area kid, batting champion, will be here. Have you switched it over?
Yeah.
All right, so you'll see. And this field that you're seeing right here, that's field 2, and that is going to have, when we're doing the interviews, you'll see people all playing baseball behind us, and then behind the cameras, which you can't see, is field number 1. So we have 3 different fields with campers going right now. And I wish we would have done this years ago to really have the perspective of how cool this is to be a part of this and understand as a baseball fan, because let's face it, we all get older. And as we get older, we think we can't do this. We think we can't play this great game that we grew up playing. There's a reason why so many of us love baseball. It's because we love playing it. It's a fun game to play. It's great to play. That's why it's been, our national pastime, and it's been played for well over 150 years at the professional level. But we all grow up. We play Little League. Depending on where you grew up, I went on to play Pony League, Colt League into high school, and then, of course, was very fortunate to play in college. But I miss playing. And I kind of kicked myself as our good friend Brody Brazil from NBC Sports California, who's a great host of A's Pre- and Post Game Live and also Sharks Pre- and Post Game Live and everything else that Brody does. Has been doing a great job on his YouTube channel about everything about Howard Terminal and the new project. Brody is here playing. And the funny thing is, it's not like it's, hey, Brody Brazil, the TV guy. It's Brody Brazil. You're a camper. Get your uniform and get your ass out there. There's no special treatment. And
we thought Brody was going to get picked last.
Well, he thought they were going to make a joke, but they did a draft earlier today. You've probably seen pictures. One of the things that maybe I should save this. Remind me to talk about how cool the Lou Wolf Training Complex is. We get a lot of flack about the Coliseum and the archaic stadium, but state of the art this spring training. This is the facility where all of your young Oakland Athletics, the guys that are drafted, the guys that are signed, the international signings, everybody comes here. This is where the minor leaguers play and they train. Now, we're used to being over at Hohokam Stadium, which is literally right down the street from here. That's where you go to the games and you go to the spring training games. Here, this is the complex where all the minor leaguers get ready for their season. And then you have guys that work out here year-round. The facility is top-notch. It's absolutely second to none.
We got action on the field. There's campers taking the field.
Do we have campers? Yeah, I mean, at some point, it's like, can we get this thing going? I'm tired of watching you guys take pictures. I'm tired of you guys, Well, they worked out earlier today. I went over. How cool is this? Just think about this. You would be throwing bullpens, and right there with you throwing bullpens is Dave Stewart and Dallas Brayton. I mean, that's the kind of action that you get here at fantasy camp. So they were taking fly balls, ground balls earlier. They're assessing these guys. They had a draft. Everybody got drafted. They announced the teams earlier. That's like Brody was taken by Terry Steinbach and Carney Lansford, and he was taken, I don't know when he was drafted. They just called him third, and it was like, no, Brody Brazil, and he just came out. It was like no big deal. So I'm actually kind of, and now that we've been here and had a little time to see it, maybe this might be something that we want to do. Like obviously
I've been paying for Topgolf yesterday. I mean, come on.
Yeah, this thing is so sweet, folks. They went, so TPC Scottsdale is the golf course that the PGA Tour will be playing. Is it next week that they're here? Because they're at the Sony right now. So they went from Kapalua in Maui. They'll head over to Honolulu and play the Sony. This is the PGA Tour. I believe then they will come here, or they're here. The tournament will be played when the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is going to be here in 32 days?
February 13th.
32 days?
Something like that, yeah.
Because the calendar, I think it's they have the calendar going at the airport in Arizona. I think yesterday was 33 days till the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so that sounds right. Yeah, because it's February 13th is the Sunday. Yeah, Sunday the 13th.
Yeah, of course.
No, the 12th.
It's in Arizona, but the stadium where the Cardinals play, it's in Glendale, Arizona.
State Farm, what is it? State Farm Stadium or Field?
No idea. I've worked a few games.
I tried looking at CPC Scottsdale, and it didn't.
So these guys, the campers yesterday, played the sister course to this, which is absolutely beautiful. So
February 9th it starts. It's that's Jason Aldean, sorry. Is it the Waste Management?
Yeah, Waste Management.
Looks like it's the February 6th, maybe? Yeah. That's what it's saying. Waste Management Phoenix Open, Monday, February 6th.
So so basically where the PGA Tour is, the sister course to that is where these guys all played yesterday. And then after that, they got to the hotel. We can actually see our hotel from here. We've by the way, good news for the A's Cast crew. We have found a new place to stay for spring training. Just a little side note. We, for years, have stayed. So the A's have been staying at the same location. Is it the what's
Doubletree, yeah.
The Doubletree by the airport. When I first came to spring training with the A's, what year was that? Like 7, 6, something like that. Of course, the team was still training at Phoenix Muni. So it still made sense. Well, they never changed. I mean, the great Mickey Morabito, who will be in some Hall of Fame someday. He'll definitely be in the A's Hall of Fame.
I would say he'll definitely be in ours.
That's his hotel. So for all these years, I've stayed at the same hotel by the airport. Well, we're now in Mesa, Arizona, nowhere near the airport. We have finally found. I'm looking. I can see it. I can turn the camera. You can see our what. This is a what?
It's the Delta.
It's a
Marriott. It's Marriott.
It's a Marriott. It's a very nice hotel. We have found. We should promote this hotel. You're coming down to spring training. I don't think there's a better place than this for A's fans.
Yeah, it's a very nice hotel. It's what 12 floors, I think it is, because you're on the 12th floor.
Well, I'm on the 12th floor.
Yeah, you got the night.
I'm on the top floor. I have the concierge lounge.
Myself and our boss, Delaire, DA, we're lower level. We're on the lower level of the
Lures.
Yeah. He was here somewhere. He's in the picture in Twitter. If you have never seen him, he does exist.
When you hear me say DA, the great Delaire, but DA, everybody's got a nickname. DA, that you'll go to Twitter, you'll now know what he looks like.
Yeah, he's on there, front center.
He's been running your television broad. We should have him on the show because he
came up the win chart. Remember? Wait, I think we talked about that before too. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, we'll have to bring DA on to explain because we talk about him all the time. We're going to have to bring him on so people know who he is. He's been running your television broadcast for all these years. Ray Fosse brought him up constantly, and now we'll get him on at some point so you actually get to know. But we can see our hotel. So we now have this trip has been it's been like an exploration, how many different things we have found. We now have a new hotel.
Yep.
I think this hotel for A's fans is perfect because you literally could walk here. I mean, you are such a quick ride to Ho-Ho Camp.
Mm-hmm.
You're so close.
It took us about like 4 minutes to get here in a car with our car.
I still recommend if you want to do the nightlife, though, you're going to want to be in Scottsdale.
Yeah, that's fair. Very fair point.
Not in Mesa. You're going. Actually, though, we were at a great brewery in Mesa one time.
Yeah,
not too far from here. But all the nightlife, especially during spring training, is going to be in Scottsdale.
Well, and the good news is that the dates for Fantasy Camp 2024 are set. If you want to learn more, how you can come and be coached and hang out with Dallas and Shooty and Stu and Carney and Terry, athletics.com/fantasy camp. You can get all your.
Do you have those dates? You should have those dates in front of you.
I don't think
they were sent to you.
Do we have the dates? It just says dates are set for Fantasy Camp 2024.
Okay. Yeah, this
athletics.com/fantasy camp.
The umpires, we have first pitch right here as we are ready to rock, and we got a foul ball right out of the gate. Fantasy Camp is underway here, 2023. And also so special for so many of these campers is that, of course, with COVID, camp was canceled. It's been canceled for the past couple of years. So this is really a unbelievable gift. And a lot of these guys get this for Christmas, for their birthday, as we've now gotten to meet some of these campers. Some people have been doing it for years. You hear guys, this is my 18th year. This is my 13th year. But some of these guys, it was their first year, and they never got to do it because we shut it down for a couple of years because of COVID. And a lot of these guys now are getting their first opportunity to do it after they had to wait for a couple of years. But when you think about the ultimate gift, we've heard these stories about how there's been people who've pitched in for the gift to make sure that this person got to go to fantasy. So there's a lot of great stories about how people get here, but yeah, it's truly a dream because you're not only going to get, as we mentioned, you got the golf yesterday, you got Top Golf. Now you get basically all of these days playing baseball every single day, and you get the full experience. You get the uniform, you get the locker. We have A's trainers here for these guys. They're getting access to the weight room. They're getting access to the training facility. These guys were in the hot tubs this morning. Tonight, they're going to put them in the ice tubs to try and help for the inflammation and the swelling to go down. Shooty Babbitt, our buddy Mac Babbitt, truly one of the great scouts, former A's player. We've had him on this show for years. I mean, everybody knows Shooty if you're an A's fan. And his great work on NBC California on A's pre- and post-game live, gave a great speech going, today is the day you come out and you have fun and you ease into this thing. Because if you go all out now and you get hurt today, you're not going to be here for the whole week.
Yeah.
You're not going to make the whole week.
You got till I think it's next Tuesday.
Yeah,
you've got
through the whole weekend, so you got to eat. You ease into this thing. Okay, so you ease into this thing. We're gonna have a guest coming up here. You ease into this thing before you get, so you can make it towards the end. little base into the left field on field one. But it's truly special. And I think that's the one thing that I'm taking away from this is the joy that I have. I mean, Bay Area, if you're back in the Bay Area watching this, just to be in 70-degree sun again is like, oh, my God.
What is the sun?
I mean, to be in sun, no rain, not have to worrying about are my gutters overflow? Am I drowning in water? There's flooding going on around me? Streets are flat, trees are falling down. This is a perfect time of the year. And also another thing to think about too with a lot of these campers is that this becomes a vacation for the family. So guys' wives can come down here. There's obviously the spa. There's shopping. There's different things. I mean, it's Arizona. So it's just not one person coming down. Some people are making this a total vacation where you come down, and some people brought their kids, and there's a lot of things that you can do at this time of the year here. I mean, it's early. It's basically, it feels like spring training, just a little bit early.
Yeah, I agree with that. And there's going to be more people that start coming in because of the Super Bowl, but we have a full camp here today. Baseball all around. I mean, I see Dallas coaching third base over on field 2. So I don't see Brody anywhere unless he's playing behind us. But yeah, this seems like I think I kind of agree with it. I think we should come and do this some year, next year, maybe the year.
Well, the
after.
good thing is you and I could start working out together because the main thing is you got to play catch. You got to start playing catch so you don't get dead arm right away because dead arm takes more than a week to get over. And these guys, after pitching for the first time, they're going to have dead arm pretty quick. So as long as we got in shape, we can come out here and dominate these guys. And I mean, dominate these guys.
I mean, you're the former college player, so I would hope that would help. But
I mean, dominate these guys. I'll be ready. There's my man, Dave Stewart. By the way, does anybody look better in green and gold than Dave Stewart?
No. I see him now.
It's almost, and I know, and I know. What about Ricky? I'm just telling you, it's like that uniform was meant to be put on by him. There's something about the hat and the way and the stare. I mean, the way he was talking to these guys down the bullpen today. I mean, if you're an all-time A's fan, to be standing on a bullpen mound at the A's training facility and Dave Stewart's talking to you and he's in full uniform, that's powerful. I stopped. Literally, I walked in here today. I stopped. So I went in. I grabbed an apple and a banana, and I got coffee, and I grabbed some pistachios, put it in my bag. And because we're up here in the tower, we haven't even explained where we are. We're up here in the tower, right?
Crow's Nest, as they call it.
So we're in the middle of all 4 fields. So this is where David Forst and all the front office sits and watches everything going on at all the fields, right? This is where we are. If this is spring training, this is where all the talent evaluators are for the Athletics, watching all of their prospects. So I got my backpack and I'm walking. I'm walk out here to the Crow's Nest, and I look over at the bullpens, and I saw what was going on. I dropped everything, put the coffee down, put the backpack, got the phone out. You can see on AthleticsCast 24, our Twitter account. Those are all the pictures I took this morning. Did you put the one that had Stu and
yes,
Dallas Braden?
Yes.
But just to watch Dave Stewart in uniform, intense, talking to these campers about pitching and getting ready to compete, you're like, this is incredible. Like, I got goosebumps. Like, as a guy that, Dave Stewart in the late 80s A's, that was the number one team when I was in high school. That's the team that, that's why there are so many A's fans around the country, is really because of that team, because they were a rock star team. I mean, we talk about Hall of Famers and you talk about great players. We mentioned Ricky. You think of Eck and Canseco, McGuire, and Stu and all these guys. Terry Steinbach is here, and he was a part of that crew. I mean, there's so many people who are in our age group who grew up, and that was the number one team in baseball. And when you're standing on a mound and Dave Stewart's talking pitching to you, I mean, it's one thing when I get to, because when I'm filling in for Brody on NBC, it's one thing doing the show with Dave Stewart, and you're kind of like, as a kid, you're like a kid again. You're like, man, I'm getting to do TV with Dave Stewart. But I was standing back watching these guys, and their eyes are all this big, right? And Dave Stewart's talking about pitching to them. Man, Doesn't get any better than that.
It'd be different if I don't know if my eyes was wide open if you were talking to me about pitching, but Dave Stewart or Dallas Braden.
Yeah. If I was sitting there, you wouldn't be listening. You wouldn't care. You'd say, "When's lunch?" Now, when Dave Stewart's up there, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yep, there's Stu right there. Walking by again.
All right. The news. Do you have the audio?
From our friend?
Yes.
From Kylie McDaniel 2 months ago?
Shintaro Fujinami.
Almost 3 months ago. Sorry, it was November.
So if you go, okay, what do you guys do on A's Cast Live all the time? What are you guys doing? Well, we do this talk show called A's Cast Live. This Japanese pitcher that the A's, according to a source, have just signed, it was predicted on this show 3 months ago.
Might have to save it.
Are we going to save it? Oh, yeah, we'll save it. It was predicted 3 months ago on this show that he would sign for the Athletics. And at that point, we had no idea who he was. And when who was it again?
Kylie McDaniel.
ESPN.
ESPN.
So when an ESPN insider tells you that you're going to sign a Japanese pitcher, you have no idea that that's going to come true. And that has absolutely come true. But joining us now.
Stu's managing from up here. He's busy.
Joining us now. Obviously, we know everything when we start talking about the 3 World Series championships. When we talk about being an Oakland A's Hall of Famer, a Roberto Clemente Award winner, ALCS MVP. I mean, you talk about everything that's gone down in this man's career. He's done everything from a pitcher to a pitching coach to a general manager, assistant general manager, a highly successful agent, and soon to be an owner in Major League Baseball. Done everything when you talk about a baseball life. The great Dave Stewart is with us here on A's Cast Live again. How are you?
Tony, it's a good day, man. Sorry, my voice is a little bit off, but it's a good day. Turned out to be a beautiful day. Cold morning. And so I wasn't sure how the day was going to turn out, but man, you can't pick a better day in Arizona.
It's like 73 degrees. It's been nothing but rain, wind, and cold in the Bay Area. I hope everybody is seeing this and makes you want to come down here because the weather is perfect.
Yeah, I know. I know in the Bay it's been raining. You know, there's been flooded areas. They've gotten a lot of rain, but I tell you what, if you want to get a break from it, this is the place to be.
You know, I said earlier on the show, because we could see you down there, I think of all the guys that have ever worn this uniform, there's something about how you look in the uniform. And today, I don't even know if you saw me, but when I first got here, I was walking by and I saw you and Dallas talking to the pitchers. I had to put my stuff down, take a picture, and say, this is fantasy camp. To see Dave Stewart, the hat, the stare, the uniform, talking, and you weren't joking with these guys. You were talking to them about pitching and competing and staying healthy this week. I'm like, if that's not what you want for camp, I mean, as a camper, I think that's got to be one of the great experiences. What's it like for you?
You know, I've been coming here, God, a lot of years. I think 12 or 13 years. I've done the fantasy camp, and you know, you got people that are coming here, and they want to compete. They want to have fun. But in the early days, it's not 100%. You got to get yourself and work yourself into this. And you know, even in our game right now, my starting pitcher, God, he had to walk probably 4 or 5 people in the first inning. You know, and walks always kill you. And so we're just talking about, you know, the odds of getting out. You know, if you throw strikes, you're going to get out. Here, you know, you can't run 100% the first day. You gradually work to 100% so that you can make it through the camp and have a memorable camp and a time that you'll always remember by being here. And so it's just been, you know, I have a good time. Every year I have a good time. You know, the 12 or 13 years I've been here, I've won 6 years too. Though.
Really?
Yeah. So it's a fun experience. It's great having the campers here. You know, we always have to remember that this fantasy camp was started by one of my best friends in life, Dave Henderson. who believed in having fun every day at the baseball field. And so this is just a beautiful experience. It's great to be here. I'm happy each year that they ask me to come because these are A's fans, but they're diehard baseball fans more importantly. And believe me, you got to be a diehard fan to come out here and put yourself through what they do for the 5 or 6 days that they're here.
One thing that I've noticed right away is just not only, as you said, the love of the game, but just a lot of gratitude and just appreciation. And just, I think what makes it all worthwhile is looking at all the joy on everybody's faces.
You know what? This is a baseball experience. My locker is not next to Carney Lancer's locker. My locker is next to a camper. So we can sit in that locker room, as we often do after these games, and we just talk about baseball and the lives that we've had an opportunity to play and be a part of for 48 years for me. So now you got a locker room where it's me and Carney Lansford and Terry Steinbach and we're all in the same area, and we are literally sitting down and talking about the days of when we were on the field and having an opportunity to play. And the campers are in there and they're asking questions, they're listening, they're taking in the stories. I mean, it's a great experience. It's great for us in the sense that we get to be young again and live the life that we did when we had the opportunity to play. But the best part of this is to be able to put that in a vision, or give the campers a visual of what we used to do and how we did it as teammates.
What was that story about? I think it was in Toronto with Terry Steinbach, and you were shaking him off, or you wouldn't call it, you pissed him off. And
Stunny just mentioned that. He mentioned that today. He mentioned it today. I used to wipe the pitches, and Stunny put down a fastball. He went first finger fastball, and I wiped and wiped and wiped and wiped again, and I wiped all the way back to the first ball, wiped all the way back to the fastball, and Stunny came out and he says, I gave you that pitch. I gave you the fastball. I said, I know you did, but I don't want you to think that you're ever in control out here.
Wait, what happened? When there was like a cooler of beer, or whether there's something associated with this story.
Well, that was after the game, which was typical for us. We were in the cloud. We were in the locker room, and we'd all get in the locker room. Carney, almost from day one, had ice bag on his right shoulder, ice bag on his elbow, ice bag on his back, and his 2 knees were iced. Dave Hindu had bad knees. His knees would be iced. I would have ice on my shoulder and elbow because I had pitched. Parker would be there, ice on both of his knees. And Steiny was ice bag. Basically, we were all ice bags. We'd have ESPN on the TV. We'd have a big bucket of Bud Lights because Bud Light was the beer of choice for all of us.
Yeah.
And we'd be sitting there watching ESPN, drinking beer and talking baseball after the game until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
The good old days.
Good days, man.
And now, since these games end like 4, you just do it till like 7.
Unbelievable the time of game. But yeah, man, we get out. We're playing, and we're talking about the time clock now and the shift, and people were wondering, if the game was going to be any shorter. And when they thought that not having the shift was going to make games shorter, it is correct. I mean, we played well. Some people argue it's going to make the game longer. I will argue that it's going to make the game shorter. We didn't have a shift. We played games 2 hours 15, 2 hours 10, 2 hours 30 max in a 9-inning game. And they've got the game clock, which should speed the game up. But we were playing quick games. Nobody ever, even at home, nobody went home right away after a baseball game. We'd sit there and just talk baseball, have a couple of beers, and just fellowship.
I brought this up to you actually earlier today, and then I also talked about on the show. When you talk about wearing the A's uniform, it fits you so right. There's something about that A's uniform and Dave Stewart and the poster, the hat, the stare, just for you still to this day, at this age, where you are in life, and yeah, you're about to be an owner of a different franchise. But just what does putting this, you grew up, you used to sneak into the Coliseum. What does this uniform mean to you?
Well, it means everything to me. One of the one of the joys of coming to fantasy camp is that I get to put this uniform on. It's 1 week of wearing the green and gold. And this uniform is the uniform that, quite frankly, has established my life in baseball. Before I put this uniform on, I wore the Dodger uniform and the Texas uniform in Philadelphia and won a championship with the Dodgers. But my life in baseball started when I put on the green and gold. And I finished my life in baseball wearing the green and gold. And so it means everything to me to have the opportunity to put this uniform on. Talked to Mike Kotze. I talked to Kotz, it's a couple of days ago, and got an invitation to come in with the pitchers and catchers the first part of spring training. And, I get a chance to talk to the guys in spring training and to really explain to them. And we're in a tough period right now in baseball in Oakland, not being the winning franchise that we've always been. And so having an opportunity to come in and talk to the guys, having an opportunity to talk about the tradition of the organization, to have them really understand what the Oakland A's are and what it means to wear this uniform. There's no better feeling for me.
But for these young players, and this is something that I'm getting excited about because there is some young talent. You got guys who got opportunity. You're you're coming to camp with the Oakland A's with a chance to make the big league team or make an impression that can get you up here in the first few months.
Yeah.
If that doesn't excite you, I don't even know why you're here.
Well, you're right. I mean, you got an opportunity to be a major league player. You have a chance to do what you always dreamed about doing since you were a young man. Now you get a chance to make that a reality and play at the major league level.
One more. All right. As a former pitcher, a former pitching coach, at what point do you maybe look at one of these guys and you say, okay, this guy can throw a little bit? Do you start maybe helping him out? Well, maybe we'll start put a little break, a little something on a ball. Will you start going into your old pitching coach mode? Let's start moving the bat. Is there anybody out here you'll start coaching up a little bit, saying we need to get some outs here? I want to win this thing. Let's change that grip a little bit, get a little cut on it. Anything that going on out here?
You talk about here at the fantasy camp?
Yes.
Believe me, brother, there is no talent out here that I could even waste it on. That would be a waste of education if I come out here and try to trick somebody out here. The best thing for them to do is to shorten the mound so they can throw a little harder.
So we're not gonna get any splitting the fingers here, and we're not. No,
Tony, you better pay attention to what's going on out here.
It's my first day. Well, as you know, it is always an honor to have you on this program. It means a lot. It's an honor to do TV with you on NBC. It's really special. I can't wait to do it again this year. I know fans love it. The fact that you're still around, and as much as we can have you, we appreciate it because you are an Oakland A's legend and Hall of Famer. You're the best.
Well, all I can say is that, I'm honored to wear this uniform, and, the work that I'm able to do, especially to talk about the game, which that's been another cool part is, a lot of these people, they listen to our shows and, they appreciate the ability to hear, from my side, what the game is and what it looks like. And I'm bringing it into their homes. And so, it's an honor. It's an honor to be a part of this organization. It's an honor to be a part of the NBC family. And I'm having my best life. And you can believe it, man. It's just absolutely outstanding. I look forward to it. April can't come soon enough to get back in the studio and be working with you guys.
And there's no way you're losing to Shooty or Catteray or any of these guys.
God.
Bring it home.
Man,
Bring it home.
If I lose to Shooty, man, I'll never live it down. Caddy will talk me to death. I won't ever hear the end of it with him. And now I got Steiny and I got Carney out here. There ain't no way in hell. If I lose to these guys, man, I'm moving to another country.
The great Dave Stewart right here on A's Cast Live. We have more coming up from Fantasy Camp.
The 2022 MLB winter meetings from San Diego are now in the past, and A's Cast Live was all over it.
Well, once again, here from the winter meetings in San Diego.
From the signing of Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge is going back to the Bronx. He's agreed to a 9-year deal worth $360 million.
And Trey Turner.
Trey Turner gets 11 years, $300 million. 11 years.
To the biggest names in the sport.
Chris Russo, the Mad Dog, the great Bob Melvin. Great Samfold right here on A's Cast Live. Torey Lovello, the manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks, former Oakland Athletic, former A's bench coach. Terry Francona is with us here on A's Cast Live. Billy Owens, assistant general manager for the Oakland Athletics. The great Sarah Langs is with us. David Forrest, the general manager of your Oakland Athletics.
A's Cast Live had you covered at the winter meetings.
That's going to do it live from the winter meetings. I hope everybody enjoyed the coverage. We had a great time. Hopefully you had a great time watching.
If you missed any of the interviews from the 3 days, go to athletics.com/A'sCast to listen or youtube.com/athletics to watch today.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Korak here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested.
The sunshine of your family and friends. Buy your tickets early for the best seats at the lowest prices as your green and gold take on the Giants, Dodgers, Padres, Angels, and more at Hohokam Stadium.
And Tony, it's a deep drive to right in the corner. Gritchick going back. He'll turn and watch it fly.
Get your tickets at athletics.com/spring. That's athletics.com/spring.
This is Chris Townsend for the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. Great news! Our indoor dining is back, along with our beautiful patio dining. Come taste our world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 83 years. The Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek has one of the most dynamic menus, plus a full bar. Pot pies, gourmet burgers, sandwiches, salads, flatbreads, and more. Don't forget, we still do takeout and delivery. For all the information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Humanity has accomplished a whole lot so far. We created penicillin, the automobile, and the internet, not to mention drones, duct tape, and the hot dog. It's all thanks to the power of human connections. And Ring Central's here to make that even easier, more seamlessly and securely, on a platform built to grow your business. Say hello to a whole new way to say hello. Visit ringcentral.com and say hello to possibilities. Ring Central. Message, video, phone, together.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is a national brand with family-owned prices and service. You can shop at one of their Barrie locations, and all stores are sanitized and safe, or you can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
The 2022 American League Manager of the Year, Terry Francona, joined A's Cast Live from the winter meetings and reflected on his time as the bench coach in Oakland.
It was 1 year, but the memories and the relationships seemed like far more.
I know that year meant a lot to you in your career.
It did. It really did. Billy told me when I came there, he said, if we do well, you're probably going to manage again. And I remember him saying that, thinking, that's interesting. And he was right.
Yeah.
But Maka gave me a ton of responsibility being the bench coach, and we had a fun team, with Hudson and Zito and Mulder and Shabby and the guys and Miggy. It was a fun team, but it was just it was a real good learning year for me.
We just honored a lot of those guys, the business. We have people who have worked with us. Keith Lippman just retired after 54
I
years.
saw that.
Steve Vucinich after 52. It's just been that family atmosphere. And once you've been in that family atmosphere, for God's sakes, just a few minutes ago, your former player, now our manager, Mark Kotze, was in that seat talking about you. It's like when you've been around the A's, you understand it's like a family business.
It really is. I can remember so many day games where 20 of us, uniform people, not uniform people, we'd head to this bar and we'd eat and have hors d'oeuvres and laugh. It is a family atmosphere. Voos and the clubhouse kids. I mean, I still talk to those guys. I mean, it is. You're completely right about that.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Flex 10 is back. Get 10 Plaza Outfield level ticket vouchers for only $99 for any 2023 regular season home game. Buy your Flex 10 pack now and redeem for any combination of games later. You can use 2 tickets to catch opening day, 4 tickets to watch a fireworks show, and 4 tickets to catch the biggest matchups. The options are endless, so give the gift of baseball this holiday season. Visit athletics.com/fan values to purchase yours today. That's athletics.com/fan values.
When Northern California businesses need some pop in their lineup, they call the bank rooted in the East Bay, Mechanics Bank. Since 1905, Mechanics Bank has been helping Bay Area and Northern California businesses find success and perform at the top of their game. See how they can make a difference in your business today. Call or stop by your local branch or visit mechanicsbank.com. Mechanics Bank, the official East Bay bank of the Oakland A's. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
A's Cast Live continues from the town. Here's Chris Townsend.
Tommy Evers, the hitting coach of your Oakland Athletics, is a manager today. They all have team names. I believe we will not be able to actually give you the team name of Tommy Everidge and former Rookie of the Year. And is he still Midland manager, Bobby Crosby?
Still Midland. I talked to him last night.
He's still going to do Midland. Former Rookie of the Year and Midland manager. Their team name, I don't believe we can. Technically, we could because we're not governed by the FCC. But since we are the Oakland Athletics and it's
a family-friendly show.
It's a family-friendly show. I believe they're one of the names of these teams. So each team has a name, and they will compete over all these days, and 2 teams will end up in the championship. But I don't believe we can give the name of Tommy Everidge.
I think we should err on the side of caution. I don't know what the team name is.
I do.
Okay.
And I'm going to say if he wants to announce his team name, he can because, he's the hitting coach of your Oakland Athletics. I will not do that. He'll be joining us, and real curious to talk fantasy with him, fantasy camp and the players and everything, and then get into new rules.
Yeah.
New rules, right? We got new rules in baseball. Shifts, gone. Stealing, recommended. Offense, changing. How? What does he expect? Because let's face it, the A's are not coming to camp when we hit mid-February here. They're not coming to camp with a whole lot of power. So we're not looking at an A's team, if it wants to compete, that it's going to go out and going to bludgeon you to death with home runs and extra base hits. So, what's the game plan? Is there going to be more running? I mean, what's the expectation? And what did he want to see from his hitters? Because these guys, we talked to Scott Emerson about this. It's not like, the guys leave the A's and then, hey, see you later. We'll see you when spring comes. I mean, you keep in contact with your guys. What are they doing? How are they working out? What are their programs? When they're going to start? Guys nowadays don't take too much time off. They may take a vacation after the season or whatever, but these guys, kind of like anything else in life, the days of shutting it down after the season and not doing anything, that's archaic in sports. No one does that. I mean, that's something that guys did in the 40s and the 50s. I mean, these professional athletes, if not even us who are not, we work out every day. We try and work out every single day. So they may not do any baseball activity, but the standpoint of working out, keeping yourself in shape, that's year round. Baseball activity, I know pitchers really start to get it going after Christmas, after New Year's. You got a month and a half to, start throwing some bullpens. I mean, Liam Hendricks, and of course, praying for Liam and his diagnosis, but Liam Hendricks never stopped.
Yeah.
Through year round. I remember talking to Bill Spaceman Lee, the old left-hander. He played year-round. Some of these guys, Raleigh Fingers like to throw year-round. Raleigh Fingers never touched a weight. Do you remember what Raleigh Fingers used to do to stay in shape?
Swim.
He was a swimmer, liked to swim laps, which we know is great exercise. So everybody has their certain ways, but I want to know from Tommy, was there a hitting program they put together? Do they have an expectation of when they want you to start seeing pitching, when they want you to start taking hacks? Are guys, a lot of tee work maybe? If you're in a cold weather place, you're hitting off the tee. You have a cage in your home. You're in the garage. You're making contact. What are the expectations? Because I know A's fans want to hear about fantasy camp, and if we get one of the actual coaches on the staff, they're going to want to hear, hey, what's been the game plan to get this offense clicking next year?
Yeah, we know, but the stolen base is going to come back, and it's maybe we're creating a new trend. Remember back with Moneyball and everything, how it's a new thing. Maybe we're just going to look for guys that can get on base and steal bases now.
Well, there's a reason why they went for this Estuary Ruiz kid. They went for him. I mean, you almost would be. I understand how certain teams are built, and you have guys under contract. You don't have a lot of flexibility. Like, I wouldn't expect the Yankees to be this type of team. But you almost got to be stupid not to take advantage of these rules. Folks, you can only throw over twice. The third time you throw over, if you don't get the guy, it's a balk. I mean, if you don't take advantage of these rules, as Tommy's joining us right now, if you don't take advantage of these rules, you're silly. It's absolutely silly. Let's put the headset on. And it's great to have him back on the program. I think we talked to him right before towards the end of the season. But how are you? Good. Do we got him up? How are you?
I'm doing good. Excited to be out here at Fantasy Camp.
How good is this?
This is great.
I mean, it's hard to believe, like, we've just come from, we're worried about flooding. It's the Bay Area. It's raining. It won't stop raining. And all of a sudden, it's like, I'm wearing shorts. I'm wondering about sunscreen. I'm like, this is amazing.
Oh, yeah. The weather out here, this is the best weather this time of year. I take my kids to school. It's a little cold in the morning, and then it's just beautiful.
Yeah, now I can see why people move down here. I mean, I can see my tee time would have been great about 10:30 today. Would have been absolutely perfect.
Oh, yeah. It's nice. And we were out there on the course yesterday, and it was just a blast just to be out here with these people in the nice weather. And, yeah, all the flooding back home, I'm calling, my mom and sisters, checking in on them.
Yeah, it's been kind of scary, especially in the North Bay, too. There's been a lot of flooding. Of course, the pride of Sonoma State right here. When I think about what we're seeing out here, just a lot of joy, a lot of fun. You can tell how much these people love the game and just how cool it is to be here at the training facility, put on the A's uniform, be around big league coaches, former big league players. Just what do you see and how special it is for these campers?
I just see a love for the game and an excitement, and, they're happy to be around each other. And, my first time getting brought into it, I was like, well, this is a blast. It's just a party of people who love baseball, and it's really what it's about.
Yeah, and the games are the early parts of the game. What are you seeing so far?
Well, we're up 4-1 over on our field, so I'm liking what we're seeing, and some really nice plays already being made, guys diving, laying out, and so it's a little more exciting. I just hope they can play tomorrow.
Yeah. Are you going to make it to the weekend? I mean, yeah, that's kind of the thing, right? It's like these guys, I mean, I've actually talked to some of the players they play in league, so some of these guys have maybe their bodies will have a little tolerance to playing, but some of these guys are just going out here putting cleats on. It's going to be like, let's see what they look like in the next couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the first thing they said. They're like, remember, we got 5 days. Don't wear yourself out the first day. But, the training staff's here for them, and they get treated, like big leaguers. They get the cold tubs, they get the massages, and I would take advantage.
When you think about this offseason for you, rule changes, no shifting. Going to be a lot of we're hopefully going to see a lot of stolen base attempts. I know you've been, I'm sure you've been looking at numbers, you've been looking at different things and data. What are you excited for, and what are you expecting?
Yeah, I'm just, being a hitting coach, I'm excited for no shift, see how that plays out. And, just trying to pay attention and remind the hitters they got to be in the box by a certain time. I think, we've talked about that a lot. And, some of them never experienced that. But, you talk to some of the guys in the minor leagues about their strategy, when they get in the box late, maybe make the opposing pitcher make a late decision with the catcher, but also the limited pickoffs. I mean, there's a lot of strategy that's going to go into the game that wasn't there before. So that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, well, first let's talk about no shifting. For your left-handed hitters, I can't imagine. I know as an ex-pitcher, I would hate the shift. Now, when it would help me, I'd love it. But let's say as a right-handed pitcher and against a left-handed hitter, I used to love to throw the changeup down the way. And if a guy hit it off the knob and hit a ground ball to short, nobody was there, I'd be fuming, right? But for left-handed hitters, I'm thinking about always seeing 3 to 4 guys. Remember, we lined Marcus Semien out way out like he was a rover. Just now that that's going to be gone, what do you think that will mentally do for left-handed hitters?
I think I think when we're playing a game in the first base dugout and we have a lefty just blast one, you go, oh, that's a hit. And then you got the guy in short right, get him rewarded for, striking the ball well. We'll be back in there for those line drives. And also just the rollover. I remember playing first, the ball gets through, maybe more first to third. I think speed's definitely going to be a part of the game that maybe hasn't been around, as in recent years, because you got to kind of hit it over the shift, but there's going to be more action.
Think about your entire life as a hitter. You were taught a back up the middle approach. Every hitting coach, back up the middle, back up that. Well, and whenever you smoked a line drive up the middle, that was a base hit, guaranteed. And then you get into baseball, and now that same smoke ball up the middle, great approach, wasn't out because there was always a guy standing there. How will that back up the middle approach get back into the game?
I think it's just a product of good hitting. And like you said, when you do hit those one-hop rockets, you're going to get rewarded. Whereas, in the recent years, there's a guy standing there. Like, once it gets past the pitcher, you're sitting there and oh, that's a hit. And then, oh, there he is. So I think we'll see more of that. And I'm just excited to see how it all plays out. It's been a long time where the shift's been, everyone's shifting. It's like, I think the batting averages are going to go up. That good hitter, I think, is going to emerge again.
What about the mind game pitcher? Whenever you put a guy on first base, the pitcher used to really have to worry about it. People stopped stealing, but now that pitcher is going to have to worry about the guy on first base. It's always been a major weapon, the pickoff move for a lefty. But now that major pickoff move, you got 2 shots at it. The third one, you don't get it. It's a balk. Just from a standpoint with the hitter at the plate, the runner at first, he's going to try and make the guy throw over. There's going to be an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, and and talking to some of the players who are in AAA and even some from different orgs, there was different strategies, like try and get them to pick early. Try and at least get one of those picks out of the way, because then not being able to just keep going over. I just think these base stealers and these fast guys are going to become much more valuable.
And then will you want to have maybe some patient for hitters to be patient, to maybe take a pitch or two, knowing that there's that game going on? Because I got to think, if you're a guy, I remember when Rajay Davis would take a huge lead, right? Knowing that they were going to throw over. I got to think that's going to be a big strategy, is you'll have to be patient as the hitter, knowing that there's the cat and mouse game with the runner and the pitcher.
Yeah, because you want to give them a chance. And, like you tell the hitters, like anytime you can get a runner in scoring position, that just bodes well for you. So if you give that guy that opportunity, and then plus, like, if they do pick over, then, you can get some big jumps, knowing that are they going to risk picking over? What are they going to do? And I think it's just a mind game that, you have these ideas, but I think as it plays out more, as we get into the games and we see how it happens, there's going to be some serious strategy.
Scott Emerson, we talked to in the past about this, and I wanted to get it with you, is, staying with your players in the off season. It's not like they just go, Tommy, great to see you. Great season. We'll see you in February. You want to stay in contact with them. You want to know what they're doing. Do you have a hitting program? Take us through what it's like your hitters in the offseason once they leave at the end of the year.
You know, you reiterate the things that they did well or the adjustments they made at the end of the year, and then they go off. And now, like, we're definitely ramping up more interaction. I've been here at the facility about 2 times a week with a couple guys living down here, and that's good. We're going 3 times a week, and guys are going to come out early. And I think that's just an excitement that I didn't get to be a part of last year with this little holdout, and we just started. But no, keeping in contact, they're sending videos and just reiterating, the pluses and what they did well at the end of the year, because I really thought we were turning a corner towards the end of the year, and there's some good things to look forward to.
Well, not everybody lives in Arizona. Not everybody lives in California or Nevada or Texas or Florida. Some guys live in cold weather. How do you make sure the snowbirds are able to get it going so when they get to spring training, they're ready to rock?
Well, you want them to ramp up machine work, try and get as much velo, get accustomed to the speed of the game again. And, there's so many great facilities now, and everyone's got a place to go, and everyone's got video, and you can always just check in. And it's just exciting that there's always somewhere for people to go nowadays. I think, baseball is just blowing up, and some of the best facilities are in those cold weather places.
Well, let's end on this. I know you're a teacher, and we talk about this with Kotze or Emerson and all you guys, that you're going to have a lot of young players, a lot of opportunity to teach, a lot of hungry guys. How much are you looking forward to spring training and the competition for these roster spots?
I think competition always is a positive. If you're pushing yourself because someone else is pushing you, you're just going to get better. And really excited. We got a full spring, and like you said, opportunity. I think that's the biggest thing. Even as a hitter, we just want to put ourselves in the best position to take advantage of opportunities. And there's no greater time than to come into camp knowing you got a shot to make a team. It's wide open. If you tear it up, you got a shot.
That's the dream about coming to Oakland, right? If you go, you're not blocked by anybody. You're going to have an opportunity to be a big leaguer.
Yeah, and when everyone has to earn their job, I think it breeds more success.
And the number one thing is, it's your first year at fantasy camp. You want to walk out of here the champion.
Oh yeah, we do. I was like, I'm excited to help these guys, but I'm like, they're some serious. They care. And I would love to leave a champion.
Dave Stewart was just up here talking about, I've won this thing 6 times. He knows how many times he's won it.
Yeah, that's like I was giving Bobby some crap. We won the golf tournament. We beat his team yesterday, and anytime you can brag, you take advantage. 6-time champion. I'll take my first.
Yeah, take Dave Stewart down. I love it. Hey, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And we'll see you in about a month over at Ho-Ho Camp.
Oh, I can't wait.
Good stuff going on here at Fantasy Camp. We got more coming up next right here on A's Cast Live.
Oakland Athletics spring training is right around the corner, and you can be part of the excitement. Get your tickets now and plan ahead for a fun-filled trip to Mesa, Arizona this spring. Pack the sunscreen, bring your friends, pick up some ballpark classics, and watch your green and gold get ready for the regular season. Get your tickets today to see the Athletics take on the Giants, Padres, Cubs, Dodgers, and more. Tickets are on sale now at athletics.com/spring. That's athletics.com/spring.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Correa here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
Hall of Famer and former A's closer Raleigh Fingers was on A's Cast Live and discussed how great the A's treat their alumni.
What does it mean to you and to your group of guys that the A's want to continue to celebrate you guys and your greatness?
Oh, I love Dave Fisher. They're great baseball fans, and they realize the history of the A's. And they love having us older generation guys coming back. And we get together just about every year, and we we induct 2 or 3 guys from the past into the Oakland A's Hall of Fame, and they're all for it. It's great that they appreciate the alumni, the guys that played back 30, 40 years ago and knew how great we were back then. So they're not only owners and presidents, but they're fans. And so they enjoy seeing us and inviting us back every year. I think it's great.
To listen to the full interview and much more, go to athletics.com/A'sCast.
The 2022 MLB winter meetings from San Diego are now in the past, and A's Cast Live was all over it.
Well, once again, here from the winter meetings in San Diego.
From the signing of Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge is going back to the Bronx. He's agreed to a 9-year deal worth $360 million.
And Trey Turner.
Trey Turner gets 11 years, $300 million. 11 years.
To the biggest names in the sport.
Chris Russo, the Mad Dog, the great Bob Melvin. Great Samfold right here on A's Cast Live. Corey Lavello, the manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks, former Oakland Athletic, former A's bench coach. Terry Francona is with us here on A's Cast Live. Billy Owens, assistant general manager for the Oakland Athletics. The great Sarah Langs is with us. David Forrest, the general manager of your Oakland Athletics.
A's Cast Live had you covered at the winter meetings.
That's going to do it live from the winter meetings. I hope everybody enjoyed the coverage. We had a great time. Hopefully you had a great time watching.
If you missed any of the interviews from the 3 days, go to athletics.com/A'sCast to listen or youtube.com/athletics to watch today.
Streaming from the East Bay, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
Live from Fantasy Camp, we have one of the... Are you a manager or are you a coach down here?
Manager.
For Fantasy Camp.
Oh, more of a coach.
Yeah. You guys are considered coaches.
Yeah.
But now he's a manager down here in Arizona for the Oakland Athletics. He's one of my all-time favorite guys to have ever covered because he played the game the right way. He's just an incredible person, and it means a lot to have him in the organization. I know that David Forrest and Billy Bean were like, we got to keep you in the organization. The great Adam Rosales joins us here on A's Cast Live. It is good to see you. How was the holidays, the family? How's everything?
Everything's great. Holidays were great. We did a lot of traveling. Went back home to Chicago. Went to my wife's hometown in Cleveland. And I went down to Myrtle Beach, actually, for the last leg of the trip. But it was awesome. It was a good time. It was nice to get away for a little bit, get to spend some quality time with family.
Yeah, you're now a fixture. I remember back in the day, you guys were kind of traveling nomads. You guys went all over the place. It was great. I mean, you're a young couple. You could do that.
Yeah.
And then as you get older, things change. You now become a fixture down here in Arizona.
Yeah, this is nice. You know, a nice little sense of normalcy down here, raising the kids here. You know, they're in all their activities. So I get to be a full-time dad all the time, you know.
How much fun are you having out here at Fantasy Camp?
Oh, this is it. This is awesome. This is my first time doing this. So just to see like the energy and the spirit that they bring to the game of baseball is really special. This is awesome.
Yeah, and they come ready to play like how you play. They're ready to hustle. They're ready to go.
They are ready to go. And I think the trainers are going to be ready for them at the end of this day. They're giving it their all, that's for sure.
Well, Shooty Babbitt gave the speech before about how, you know, hey, they kind of ease into it. We want to be here all week. No, that's not the case.
No, I'll not see it. I see them go 100% right here. Yeah, they want to win. They want to play the game hard. So
now your team already has a home run.
Yeah, Ryan Blanchett was our 2-hole hitter. Guys on first and third, just backspin the ball right into the left center field gap. He's got some wheels, so he got around the bases quick. So tied the game up 4-4.
So for people to know that earlier today, all the campers were out, kind of like skills tests to see kind of who can do a little bit of what, and you guys watch them all and then take us through the process. You then had a draft?
Yeah, we do a draft. We did like a little skills test. I was in the batting cage, just kind of watching them hit, watch their bat speed and see what they got, who's athletic and whatnot. But you try to take some notes on the guys, and then you collaborate in the boardroom, whatever, and just start drafting left and right, and then just see who, I think pitching is number one. That's why Stu and Steiny were all about the pitching. Make sure you get some good pitchers out here that can endure a couple innings.
Who can throw strikes? Who can get the ball over the plate, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, there it is.
Oh, a little foul ball here
Foul
off,
ball,
off
right.
the crow's nest. Managing last year, how did it go? What did we learn?
You know, it was a lot better than was 2021. 2021 was my first year. Second year, I did a little bit better. We lost, was it 16 one-run or two-run ball games? But these kids, I feel like they developed a lot. They really took advantage of their opportunities. A couple guys went up, or at least got an opportunity to go up. I'm just learning a ton about how to develop players, you know, and how them coming from the Dominican, you know, a lot of them think that they've made it when they get here. But it's like you got to ground them and let them know, no, this is just the start of a long journey, you know, and it's really humbling them to be like, hey, you got a lot of work ahead of you. And I think that's something that was really eye-opening to me, especially last year, because I always give them the benefit of the doubt, you know, like these kids are coming in, they're hungry, but you got to keep them hungry though. And that's, you know, and I really realized it this year. So I'm looking forward to getting back. Got that itch, you know.
I'm glad you brought that up, because we don't think about that. I mean, when you're coming from a foreign country and your goal is to get off the island and to get to the United States, and everything that they have to do just to get here, I can see why they go, I'm here, I've made it.
Yeah.
And then you got to go, yes, but now it's just the start.
Yeah.
That's not an easy conversation.
No, it's not. And it's hard for them to recognize that and realize that. But they are such good kids, you know, good in heart. They really want to do well for themselves and their families. And you can just tell that. And you have such compassion for them to have their backs. But, you know, like you got to develop quick. You know, you got to learn the ropes. You got to learn how to play the game. I think that's a big thing. You know, throwing to the right base if you're playing outfield to keep the double play in order is like a big thing for us. Just knowing like your approach at the plate or how to throw strikes, like it's like the fundamentals that just so close to getting to the next level, but they got to do it consistently though, you know.
A lot of people don't realize that a lot of these kids just train. They're in camps, and they're not actually playing.
Exactly.
It's not like how we grew up, where we played in Little League and then we played Pony League, or however you went up in your leagues. You constantly played games to win. A lot of these kids, like in Venezuela or the Dominican Republic, they're not playing in games. They're going to tryout camps. They're constantly in camps, trying to be seen, trying to get signed. They're not actually just playing in youth leagues, so they don't learn how to play the game. So that leads me to you as a coach.
Right.
How good is that for you, that you have to understand you truly have to be a teacher?
Right. And for me, like and I'm getting a lot better with that, and I'm relying on the staff a lot more from their knowledge. All the staff that we have down here is fantastic and what they bring. But yeah, for me, it's almost like to break it down. I've become a lot better teacher over the last 2 years, to break it down, to help them understand the fundamentals, how important a team fundamental, how it's got to be run crisp, you know, with a purpose, that they grab something from it. But yeah, for me, like when I first started, it's like, just do it, you know, like why don't you just do it?
How do you not know how to do this?
Right, exactly. But it's not, and that's what I learned a lot. And I still got a long way to go, you know, as a coach, and to break things down so player A understands it, player B understands it. They're all different. There's so many different types of personalities and different dynamics that go into teaching and to coaching, and I'm loving learning it.
I have a feeling that because you're having to it's like elementary. It's like starting from the beginning. That's going to, when they say iron sharpens iron, that's going to sharpen you as a coach, your eye, what you see. You've probably learned more about detail than probably ever before about this game.
Oh, there's no question. If I knew what I know now, like when I was playing, I would feel like I was a lot better. That's like the sixth tool, right? Like, you know the game a lot better. You know how to break it down. But I was just so high energy, high pace. I didn't really slow the game down in that way that I have now. It would be nice to take that knowledge back to whatever 10 years ago and to apply it. But yeah, that's what I'm learning. I'm really learning the game, the ins and outs, the positioning. You know, when I was a player, I relied a lot on the bench coach or the infield coach, whoever it was, to be like, hey, this guy, I know I got the sheet on him, but help me out a little bit. I mean, I know I made the adjustments on my own, but now I know as a manager, there's a lot of different nuances, positioning and situational wise, that help you, especially in the 7th, 8th and 9th inning that could make or break a ball game.
You played, obviously, with a lot of intensity. You played the game the right way, and you had talent, but you never were an entitled type guy.
No.
You earned everything you got. How much do you think that helps you, your work ethic, how you went about it for you as a coach to help these kids, to teach them how – because this is about getting moved up.
Yeah.
You have that ability to help them.
Yeah, I mean, that's the core principle. That's the core value. You got to know, like, you can't expect much from the game. You got to just give it everything you got and not expect anything in return, because it can be gone the next day. And I always knew that since I've been young, since I've been in high school. That was like a thing I told myself, don't expect anything from the game. This game will humble you in an instant. And I know that, and I try to carry that into managing and help explain that to these players. Like, this game is going to humble you really quick. But I've always had that. I never had that sense of entitlement. I love the game way too much, and the players around it and the coaches, all the time and energy they put into it. That never gets past me. I know it's not easy. It's a hard game.
You know what I can tell? You love it just like you love being a player. Huh?
I do. I mean, obviously there's something special about being a player, the competition at that level. But I do. I just love the game of baseball and just the people that are around the game of baseball. It's really special for me.
When this is all said and done, are you guys winning this thing?
There's no question. I mean, we're gonna be all right.
Your first time in, you're bringing home the title. Is what you're saying. Rosie's bringing home. He's showing up to fantasy camp, going, I don't care, Dave Stewart, Shooty. You're winning.
Yeah, you always have to have that mentality, right? You got to be the guy.
Hey, it's great to see you. It's so much fun to watch you grow.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch you as a player. It's now fun to watch you grow as a manager, because I can
that.
tell it's a passion, and
that is.
And then there's learning the pitching and how to deal with pitching and everything. But all this that you're learning is going to make you it's going to make you so much better.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it for sure. And there's so much to learn.
And you're in an organization that loves you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. I love it too. I love the A's too. There's no question.
Well, it's great seeing you, my man. And we'll see you in a month of spring training.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I got that itch.
Yeah, I'm ready. What's after like New Year's? You're like, all right, let's
baseball.
go.
Let's go.
The great Adam Rosales right here on A's Cast Live. We have more coming up next from Fantasy Camp.
The 2022 MLB winter meetings from San Diego are now in the past, and A's Cast Live was all over it.
Well, once again, here from the winter meetings in San Diego.
From the signing of Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge is going back to the Bronx. He's agreed to a 9-year deal worth $360 million.
And Trey Turner.
Trey Turner gets 11 years, $300 million. 11 years.
To the biggest names in the sport.
Chris Russo, the Mad Dog, the great Bob Melvin. Great Sanfold right here on A's Cast Live. Torey Lovell, the manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks, former Oakland Athletic, former A's bench coach. Terry Francona is with us here on A's Cast Live. Billy Owens, assistant general manager for the Oakland Athletics. The great Sarah Langs is with us. David Forrest, the general manager of your Oakland Athletics.
A's Cast Live had you covered at the winter meetings.
That's going to do it live from the winter meetings. I hope everybody enjoyed the coverage. We had a great time. Hopefully you had a great time watching.
If you missed any of the interviews from the 3 days, go to athletics.com/A'sCast to listen, or youtube.com/athletics to watch today. The Oakland Athletics begin spring training on February 25th. Now's the time to make plans to catch us in Mesa, Arizona, and enjoy the sunshine of your family and friends. Buy your tickets early for the best seats at the lowest prices as your green and gold take on the Giants, Dodgers, Padres, Angels, and more at Hohokam Stadium.
And Tony, it's a deep drive to right in the corner. Gritchick going back. He'll turn and watch it fly.
Get your tickets at athletics.com/spring. That's athletics.com/spring.
Derek Shelton, manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates, joined Townie in San Diego at the winter meetings to talk about Ray Fosse.
My dad and Ray grew up in bordering towns in southern Illinois, so the whole time growing up, we always heard the stories about the Legion Ball battles or the Little League battles that my dad and Ray had, and I think as we were talking coming into it, when coming into Oakland, it was my favorite part, doing the pregame show with him.
Yeah.
And being able to sit and talking to him and listening to him and Vince. I mean, someone that's sorely missed and definitely affected me because, for a long time when I first started as a young coach, he was even a mentor to me as, a broadcaster. He was a wonderful human being.
The Marion Mule. Back at
Yes, very, very Marion, Illinois. Very, very good call.
I remember when he was so excited because we didn't realize that Illinois and St. Louis have like a joint Hall of Fame, and he was going into this Hall of Fame, and it was like a big deal.
Oh yeah,
and Ray, Ray is so proud of his roots, and the one thing that Ray made everybody feel special.
That he did, and I think that goes back to why he so deeply affected me when I started as a young hitting coach in Cleveland, and he had Cleveland ties, and just the conversations, for a guy that was learning the ropes of the big leagues, he was extremely helpful, and I think, like you said, and your whole fan base, someone that's extremely missed.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
Humanity has accomplished a whole lot so far. We created penicillin, the automobile, and the internet, not to mention drones, duct tape, and the hot dog. It's all thanks to the power of human connections. And Ring Central's here to make that even easier, more seamlessly and securely, on a platform built to grow your business. Say hello to a whole new way to say hello. Visit ringcentral.com and say hello to possibilities. Ring Central. Message, video, phone, together.
This is Chris Townsend for the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. Great news! Our indoor dining is back, along with our beautiful patio dining. Come taste our world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 83 years. The Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek has one of the most dynamic menus, plus a full bar. Pot pies, gourmet burgers, sandwiches, salads, flatbreads, and more. Don't forget, we still do takeout and delivery. For all the information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Correa here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is a national brand with family-owned prices and service. You can shop at one of their Barrier locations, and all stores are sanitized and safe, or you can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
A's Cast Live continues from the town. Here's Chris Townsend.
All right, we have not gotten a lot of time, and we'll get into it a little bit here as we'll have a little time before we have one of our next coaches come up. But obviously, Shintaro Fujinami, the Japanese pitcher who I'm not even sure the A's thought they were going to be able to get. But it's always a crapshoot, and the A's are, sources say, and we can wink, know that it's going to happen. The A's are able to get this 6'6", 180-pound right-hander who turns 29 in April, and career numbers pretty good. I mean, they're nothing that blows you away, but it's a one-year deal. You also have the posting. I think the grand total of the deal is like $3.9 million. It's nothing crazy. I've been watching video from the World Baseball Classic. I know it'll say he can touch 100 on the gun. The fastballs I've been seeing are around 92 to 94. But he's an accomplished pitcher, and it just adds another guy into the A's rotation where I know it's early. I know I'm down here at spring training. I know the sun's out. It's the first time I've seen the sun in so long, and life just feels like, getting out of the Bay Area, life just feels like a different world with all the water I've had around my house and I've had to deal with, and everything that you guys have had to deal with. So the sun may be making me feel a little better than I am, but I don't think pitching's going to be the problem.
We've like what is it now? 9 or 10 guys competing for 5 spots. Well,
I don't think. I mean, reliever. Hey, you can basically say there's 30 teams out there, and all 30 teams, reality, have no freaking idea how good their bullpen's going to be. Bullpens year to year, we can go in and we could say, oh, this year, this team. I remember a couple of years ago, after the year that Blake Trinan had, that literally was one of the greatest years for a reliever of all time. Look at the metrics. They'll tell you. You and your ERA plus.
I'm going to look it up now.
You and your ERA plus.
I mean, he had the ERA like 0.78 and 100 strikeouts in 80 innings and 30-something saves and 9 wins. And look at it. I mean, look where he's at now.
So we remember, and Lou Trevino had that big. Lou Trevino came on at the end of the year, pitched well in the wild card game at Yankee Stadium. What was his E plus? Remember, you want to be 100's average.
Oh my God,
100 is average.
Mariano Rivera has the greatest, as you pointed out yesterday, the greatest ERA plus of all time for a reliever with a minimum of 1,000 innings. Blake Trinan's was 531.
531. Okay, 100. 100 is average, okay? Anything below 100 for your ERA plus is below average. Mariano Rivera, we always laugh because I like to play the metrics game with everybody because everybody likes to use metrics like they're the secret scientist. By the way, I'll give you an idea what I like to do to people. OPS. I mean, it's just combining on base and slugging. It's you add them both and you get a number, right? And you'd think there'd be this hocus pocus about how we find the great players. Let's see, how do we find the greatest players of all time? Who has the best OPS of all time?
Is it Babe Ruth?
Wow. So it's not some random guy?
Yeah, no, it's not. You're telling me it's not Johnny Rightfield for the Red Sox or something?
It's not Andres Galarraga. No, it's Babe Ruth. Who has the best OPS plus of all time?
I'm just going to go off a limb here. I'm guessing Babe Ruth.
Yeah. Isn't it weird? Like the top 3 guys are Ruth, Bonds, and Ted Williams.
They all had pretty good careers. I think they're all they're in that baseball museum.
Yeah. It's not Bonds should be.
Oh
in the
yeah,
museum,
yeah.
But so the point is, it's like funny. Like we're the metrics are trying to find the diamond in the rough of the metrics. Yeah. If you look at ERA plus. I had this yesterday on the plane for my friend here. I said, we're going into all this. Like, do I really need for the great players these metrics? 1,000 minimum 1,000 innings, ERA plus, best reliever all time, 205, Mariano Rivera. Pretty simple. Wouldn't be hard to guess it, right? It's not going to be like you're not going to be like, what was it, Troy Percival?
I thought when you asked me on the plane yesterday, I thought it was going to be a trick question. I was like, no, he's probably going to go towards Rivera. Or it's going to be Raleigh or Eck.
No, because you think that because it's metrics, it's going to find somebody that the regular numbers didn't have. Yeah, Troy Percival. No, it's not Troy Percival. It's Mariano Rivera has the best ERA plus. But getting back to it, I remember that spring. What year was that? That was the wild card year. What year was that? 17?
18 and 19 were wild card years.
Yeah, so it would have been 17. Right?
No, 18. What are you looking at?
Trinan's year.
2018. That was the
one. And then the bullpen sucked in 19?
Yes, the first one, the 18.
No, what was the year we played the Yankees in the wild card?
18.
18. Okay, so 19
was Tampa.
Oh my God. So anyway, point is, we went into that spring training 2019 talking about how good the bullpen was and ended up sucked. So you don't know year to year. So the one thing I do know, heads up, we got incoming going on right now. The one thing that we do know is that this oh my God. Dallas Braden is now mocking Brody Brazil, the great Brody Brazil, fellow San Jose State Spartan. You see him as the host of A's pre- and post-game live, Sharks pre- and post-game live. You could say he is the man that built NBC Sports California.
Oh, gosh. I got
You're
bad
not-
news. I
you're-
got really bad news.
You're not looking well, my friend. You were just here like 2 hours ago. You're in this beautiful white uniform. You looked young and fresh. You look like you're 18 years old.
You know, we love Ray Fosse, right? So I'm going to quote Ray Fosse, what he would have said if he saw me injure myself like I did.
You were injured?
Wow. And it wouldn't have been the impressed wow. It would have been the wow.
What happened?
I just pulled a hammy. I swear to you. My very first at-bat. Swung at a strike, missed it. All right, dig back in, get another fastball, hit it right up the middle. Shortstop backhands it, bobbles it. I'm like, oh, I can beat this out.
Of course you can.
I put my head down like an idiot. Pop. I, get to first base. And Carney's over there. He thought I was joking. He's like, yeah, what? What, are you okay? Yeah. So I iced it. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. It's early. I got a long couple days here to recover.
It's fantasy camp.
I felt
That's how it works.
I felt it pop.
Oh, you felt the pop?
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is not good. This is not good.
Well, as you know what they used to say at halftime.
So I also it's funny though, I got 2 phone calls since this happened. The Giants called me and said that everything's off, and then the Mets called me and said they're thinking about it. And then the Twins just texted me. I don't know what's happening.
Well, the Giants may call you back and go, we're so desperate, we'll take you. If you're hurt, that's the thing about the Giants. If you're not hurt, you can't pass the physical. But if you're Conforto or you're Haniger and you can't play it all the year before, you can pass the physical. So maybe for the Giants, you could pass.
Do you want to give me the physical since we're here and this is on video? I'll show you where the injury happened.
Is this going to be black and blue? Is it this bad? Like it popped and
it won't be black. I've had this before, unfortunately. It's been about 5 years. It won't be like that, but it's to the point where when I had to like hobble up the stairs to like.
Okay,
hold
now
the
you
rails.
just DH with your power. You're fine.
That's what
You're
they said.
fine.
That's what Steiny just said. He said, "Can you hit? We'll get somebody to run for you." That is a rule here, by the way. Can we? I know we can play the "I'm an idiot" angle for as long as you want. I can also tell you how fun this is already. Like, I mean, if I'm sitting here on one leg, enjoying it still, what an atmosphere! I've never done this before. I highly recommend this. Well, I would also recommend stretching a little bit more, maybe.
Maybe getting in shape before you came down.
Maybe
some sprints.
Maybe a little more Orange Theory. But you know what it is? It's like I felt like an idiot because I accelerated. I should not hit that ball up the middle, and I put my head down. As soon as I put my head down and said, "Go for it, gun it," and I did that, and that's what I regret right now. So,
but you know what? I want to tell everybody a little story. So, obviously. You come down here, you're Brody Brazil, and you think everybody would be like, it's Brody Brazil, but they're treating you like you're any other camper. And I was in there when they were selecting the teams.
Yeah.
I was off to the side having some lunch.
Yeah.
And when they selected you, Terry Steinbach and Carney Lansford, you came walking up and said, I feel like a kid. You were like a little kid.
Oh, my legends.
Coming up.
Yeah.
You just got selected by 2 of the guys you grew up watching.
Yeah, and if Dallas chose me or Bobby Crosby chose me, I'd be like, those were fun guys to
stiffs.
Or if Stu, yeah, stiff. No, they'd be fun guys. I'd remember them from covering them. But yeah, from a kid, people from your childhood drafting you, and I've known Terry and Carney for a bit too, so they're not holding back. Terry's like, pinch run, Brazil, pinch run. I don't think so. Yeah, they're not. They're good managers. They're good people. I'm glad they're here too. It's not. Yeah, it's everything. It's the other people that are here. It's the staff that the A's have brought in, and there's a little mix of everything, right? Some old, some new, but overall, everybody's they understand this. They're friendly. They've also got everything figured out. I mean, there's literally for you as a participant, there's nothing you need to figure out when you come here. It's all laid out for you. So it's like the cruising of vacations. You just show up. They'll take care of everything for you.
Yeah, you don't need. I mean, it's that simple. Like you get to the hotel. I mean, it's going to be golf. It's going to be Top Golf. It's going to be dinner. It's going to be playing
rehab.
It's going to be hot tub, cold tub. You're going to be cold tub.
It just the trainer said, "Is it close to your butt cheek or is it down by your knee?" I'm like, butt cheek. She goes, "That's not good.
That's not good." I'm sorry, my friend.
Yeah. What do you? So what's I mean. Have you talked to anybody else? Have you had the guests on yet? Where are we?
Oh,
at?
yeah,
Where are we at here in the
we-
show.
we-
Sorry, I've been a little bit busy.
We've done
going 1 for 1. Hey, fantasy camp batting average.
So if it all ends today,
1,000.
you walk out of here with
On base
1,000.
percentage,
yeah.
pretty good. Didn't get a ball hit to me in
Well,
the.
I want to ask you with just around the guys. Just I want you to tell people just the true joy on people's face.
Oh my gosh,
like they're little kids again.
Well, and there's two types of people here. Obviously, some that have done this before, and probably multiple times, and then some who are like, "This is my first time." And to your point, the joy is equal. The joy is for the people that have done this, and I've heard some say 5, 6, and 8 times. They're not jaded by the fact they've done this before. It is still just as exciting to them to be back. And I know this camp hasn't happened for a couple years.
Yeah,
obviously. So everybody's really stoked to be back. In addition to the people for the first time who are inside the walls of that complex over there, seeing what a clubhouse looks like and seeing what, professional facilities look like. And, look, Coliseum aside, the A's here in Arizona have a setup that's modern and new, and they have just as much as anybody else in baseball.
I'm so glad you brought it up because I wanted to bring that up, and this will be a good time. Another incoming here in the Crow's Nest is we take so much flack about the Coliseum, and then you come here at the state-of-the-art.
Yeah.
The A's have what everybody else has in baseball, and we talk about we need to have that for our stadium, hopefully in Oakland.
Right.
But to think that, the A's, no, we have state-of-the-art facilities. It's just not in Oakland. You come here, this is state-of-the-art. This is as good as it gets.
I saw Nick Allen this morning, talked to him, saw Laser Ramon this morning, talked to him. So, these guys are down here. They're utilizing this even longer than they're required to, right? Because this is a place they want to be. They've made it Arizona their home, but it's a year-round. That's the other thing. It's a year-round complex. It's not just for the 5 total weeks of being here early, pitchers and catchers, and then official spring training. Everybody's here longer than that, by the way. You know that. It's a good year-round home. And so when they moved here, was it 2015 or so? I walked around. I remember seeing all the newness with the A's logo and thinking oh, you don't rarely ever see newness with an A's logo on a facility.
Yeah,
because we were only used to the old training complex in Phoenix.
Or rebuilt. A lot of rebuilt stuff.
And the stadium, Muni Stadium over in Phoenix. That's what it was called, right?
Yeah,
Municipal
Phoenix
Stadium.
Muni, yeah.
And so when they moved over to Hohokam and then they put this place together here, it was like, wow, all this, it's got the new smell and the green and gold, and then then your mind starts to wander and race a little bit like, oh, this is what a new stadium would look and feel like. So it's great to be down here. I've been down here many a times just for work. But it's cool to be here and have full access to the facility, and they supply us with.
You look sharp.
Everything, that's the worst
back
part.
in high school, ready to rock.
I'm not sure. We took team photos, but I'm not sure I got any action shots. Playing my one defensive inning and getting my one leadoff at bat in the top of the second.
They're gonna go. Do you remember 2023? Yeah, Brody Brazil was down there. I don't remember.
Hey,
I don't remember him. I don't remember him being here.
He
was gone after one inning.
I'm not here to knock Trevor Rosenthal, but. Come on, same type of thing, right? I didn't want this to happen.
You are, as the lone media member representing all of us, it's not going well.
Every time I move in a wrong direction, they said it might get tight tonight too. So,
well, you have inspired Cody and I. We've thought about it. Maybe we should play. But maybe we all should work out and get in shape first before we do it.
Ibuprofen. Shooty, but here's the worst part. It's the number one piece of advice. Like I talked to Shooty in November. Oh, you're coming down? Yeah. He's like, and I'll quote him, "So, bruh, start stretching now." Right. And that's what he said. He's been saying this the whole time. And then he even told me this morning, he's like, don't run anything out today. And I did. I should have listened. That's, what the worst part is? Not what happened, not how I feel, and not how many days it's going to take, is that I should have listened. I spaced out.
But you know what?
I got all excited because I thought, oh, first AB, base knock, leg it out. And have Carney high-five me. I didn't want to let Carney down.
You are the great example of what happens in professional sports when people say the guy gets injured all the time. Why does he go 100%?
Right.
The human brain
Doesn't know any better.
When you're in action and you're in competition,
Right.
even though there's nobody watching, you're just out here on the field, the brain kicks in, adrenaline kicks in, and your brain doesn't know 75%. Your brain knows get on first. You know the object, you know the task, and the brain takes over, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you did exactly what you're supposed to do.
Shooty somehow has a picture. Cody, look at that. Shooty somehow has a picture of me moments after the injury. Trainer, and I'm doing the standard. I just pulled my hammy pose, like one hand lean back. How many, like literally, how many times have we seen a professional athlete do that? I didn't realize I could make that pose, but
we got to ask you before you came on. You're putting some videos out. Obviously, not only what he does on NBC Sports California with the A's and Sharks, fantastic, but what you've done for a lot of us, keeping us educated on everything going on with Howard Terminal back in the Bay. Obviously, it gets more confusing by the day as there is a change in government.
Yeah.
There's a change in mayor. There's a city manager and all these other titles of stuff that most of us don't even know go on. The people that have voices have control. People are changing. People are leaving. People are coming. New people are getting into this. Obviously, what we know about with the infrastructure bill that came out of the Hill, the president, the Senate, and Congress all passed, and we were hoping to get some extra money out of that. So right now, how you feeling where we stand?
the $180 million that Oakland and the A's were both hoping for, not coming through to any extent. Now, it's not officially a done deal, zero, but it's likely, very likely leaning that way. It's a kick. It's a pulled hamstring. I can still walk. I'll still be able. I'm going to live tonight. I'm going to eat dinner tonight, but
you won't be able to get out of bed in the morning, but you'll be able to. Right. You'll be alive.
This is literally the analogy of that. It hurts.
The screaming in the middle of the night you hear at the Delta is going to be Brody Brazil.
Don't give away my doxing. Is that you doxing me? Is that what it's called? When you give away my location? Why don't you tell them what room number I'm in?
We're all there, so we'll protect you.
Come to Mesa, by the way. So
yeah, you can get Brody now because he's not going to be able to run away from you. If you ever wanted to attack Brody Brazil, this is the time. He's a wounded animal.
This is why I knew when Delaire said, go see the guys. I'm like, that'll make me feel better, actually. And it is. You're healing me. So it is exactly like that, though. It's not. It's something that hurts. It's something that is a setback. It's something that is frustrating. Was it alone going to be also the thing that pushed everything across the line? No. There is still more needed. And there is also still more than $350 million secured. Mm-hmm. So I know that at this point, that number of what is needed total is just going to keep going up, right? Time, inflation, that's with everything, not just a ballpark.
That is a great point because
it's a moving target.
We were able to understand. All right, inflation's hit everybody. Things have got more expensive,
right?
But the more this thing's delayed,
right,
the price tag just keeps going up.
That is, I do want to tell you that Oakland, in their understanding of whatever agreement. Now, there's no agreement yet between the team and the city, as we famously know, but Oakland has long said that no matter what we do or ever enter into, we will always do so with the expectation of 6% every single year, over year, for inflation. So we understand that number is going to go up, and we also understand that wherever they agree at, it will be known that has to be accounted for, right? So they're not going to blindly go into the deal, both sides, and say, oh, the number is $515 million, handshake done. They're going to do that going in saying, we know that every year that goes on, add 6%. And that might, some years it may only be 1%. Some years it may be negative, but they're going to be conservative and safe in that and tack on 6%. So look, it's a huge deal. I want to touch on what you said earlier, the transition of city government in Oakland, new mayor, 2 new city council members. I don't know that it immediately paints a different picture than where Oakland left it with Libby Schaaf departing. But I do want to say I spoke to Dan Kolb, council member of District 1 a couple days ago, 3 days ago now. And I think, he just expressed that his frustration was that, and it comes from a place where I think he really wants this to happen. He says, like, how did we have, a mayor like Libby Schaaf who was into this, who was really behind it, and we just couldn't latch these two sides together. We couldn't get them in tandem to to get a deal. So now we're bringing in somebody who is brand new to being a mayor, who doesn't have the longer standing relationship with the A's front office and ownership. So now we're not as friendly at the front. I'm not saying that changes making a deal or not, right? If a deal is there, a deal will be there, but it changes. It definitely changes the dynamic. So I'm very interested to see. I won't say completely negatively it does, but it just changes it. So
it's complicated.
It always has
like
been.
your hamstring. It's complicated.
How do we fix this?
But the ballpark, like your hamstring, doesn't mean you will not be back on the field during this camp.
What if I show up is a championship on Monday? I mean, our team's looking
Tuesday. You got till Tuesday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's Tuesday, right?
I think the last games are Monday.
Yeah, I think it was a week, right? So
Monday,
yeah.
Game. You got till Monday. So, yeah, like Howard Terminal.
What if this
was a little hammy pull?
I come through at the last moment, surprise everyone.
You're the Kirk Gibson of
oh my God!
camp.
He's gonna have his Willis Reed game soon.
Hey, was that it?
Okay, none of these kids remember. No one watching here remembers Willis Reed in the Knicks.
Was Gibby a hamstring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you could like change it all.
Because Dave Stewart, right? He's managing on a totally different field.
Yeah.
He comes in our dugout, just sits there and looks at me like this. Right after this happened, because he wanted to come rub it in, literally, not rub it in, make it feel better.
He's such a good friend.
Yeah. And I look at him like, what? He goes, ha, ha, ha. That was his reaction. Yeah. So now that I know it's Kirk Gibson, what if I can get back in action and give him? I hate to do this to A's
all
fans,
year they called him to light the fire.
What if I give him
We'll get Vince Scully. All year he delivered.
That was a traumatic moment of childhood right there.
I'll never forget where I was watching it.
I think
where were you when you were watching it?
At home, because I remember we went out in the front yard and burned Dodger baseball cards after that. Yeah.
I was at my high school girlfriend's parents' room when I was watching. I'll never forget that.
High school girlfriend's parents' room.
Yeah.
This is streaming, right?
No, they're not. We were just watching the game.
Oh, okay,
There's nothing going on. But I'll never forget where I was. I couldn't believe it.
I was very detailed. No, I think I was 8 at the time, so
I was a little older than him.
So I might have said my first curse word right after that, or learned my first curse word.
Do you need help down the stairs out of the crow's nest, or do we need to call? We need to get a cart to wheel you off.
It's really awful. As I joked earlier, I was like, "Yeah, when I come back and see you later, I'll need help up the stairs." Now I do.
Well, we're expecting that. We're Kirk Gibson, Willis Reed.
Back. Now I have a different journey. I've got to come back to make.
Do us proud. I mean, you're the media member here playing. You need to do us proud.
I'll try.
Everybody says we're soft. Our basically everything that we've built up is on you now. Our reputation. You're in charge.
Speaking of comebacks, I don't know what your guys' time frame is. I just want to mention this because I texted him and he texted me back this morning. I talked to Liam Hendricks.
Yeah.
If you guys have probably talked about that at length,
Yeah.
huh? It rips me. That really rips me. And I saw somebody out here today who looks like him, and it just got my mind thinking about that all over again. And what a great A he was. What a story here, getting DFA'd all those times, and then
starting the wild card game, and then next thing you know, he's on the cover of the media guide.
He's an all-star after that. I mean, he literally took every negative here and made it into a positive, and
and he's the nicest. Human being, and does more for people than any of us will ever do.
I've long said, I've never visited Australia, but when I do someday, I'll give another 15 years. So you'll be done playing. Can I call you up? Can we, because I'd love for you to be I feel like I trust you. He's not a crazy guy. He's a fun guy.
Yeah.
I'd love for him to chaperone the trip, but yeah, I'm sorry I didn't end it like that. I didn't, but it caught my brain, and I also wanted to mention him too because he's just such a great person.
Yeah, all of our thoughts and prayers are out to him because God, what a great A and what a great guy is.
Yeah.
All right, well, go get in that cold tub, because you got to stop the bleeding in the hamstring from the tear.
Well,
and then get your work done, and then we'll probably be hopefully watching you back on the field tomorrow.
Bad news for A's Fantasy Camp is my injury. Well, maybe not bad news, but good news for A's Cast. My schedule is wide open now.
Brody Brazil will be here tomorrow, injured with crutches.
It hurts when you do certain things like that. Get up too fast.
All right, coming up next, the Japanese pitcher. It was predicted he would join the A's on this program 3 months ago. You'll hear it next right here on A's Cast Live.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Correa here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
Oakland Athletics spring training is right around the corner, and you can be part of the excitement. Get your tickets now and plan ahead for a fun-filled trip to Mesa, Arizona this spring. Pack the sunscreen, bring your friends, pick up some ballpark classics, and watch your green and gold get ready for the regular season. Get your tickets today to see the Athletics take on the Giants, Padres, Cubs, Dodgers, and more. Tickets are on sale now at athletics.com/spring. That's athletics.com/spring.
Hitting the road with the family. On your way to nonstop adventures. No worries ahead. Because you know you can stop at a Chevron station along the way. Get fuel for your car, fuel for your crew. That's Chevron with Techron for unbeatable mileage and snacks for all. Coffee for mom, chips for the kids, cold drinks for dad. You know, for the road ahead. Toss in some laughs, out-of-tune singing, and a zillion "Are we there yet?" And you just made lifelong family memories. Chevron, together ahead.
A's Assistant General Manager Billy Owens stopped by A's Cast Live in San Diego and talked about getting the 6th pick in the 2023 draft.
Now, you're definitely going to get a good player. I mean, I think I saw recently, actually, that, first overall pick for various reasons, but Chipper Jones and Ken Griffey Jr., they might be one of only the two for 1-1 overalls that went to the Hall of Fame. You know, Hall of Fame is obviously very difficult, but that just tells you that in the top 10, you're going to have a strong opportunity. But just the way the draft goes down, it's kind of a sliding scale with the capital and what you get for an overall pool standpoint. So having a higher number is pretty valuable just for the capital aspect.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
The 2022 MLB winter meetings from San Diego are now in the past, and A's Cast Live was all over it.
Well, once again, here from the winter meetings in San Diego.
From the signing of Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge is going back to the Bronx. He's agreed to a 9-year deal worth $360 million.
And Trey Turner.
Trey Turner gets 11 years, $300 million. 11 years.
To the biggest names in the sport.
Chris Russo, the Mad Dog, the great Bob Melvin. Great Samfold right here on A's Cast Live. Torey Lovell, the manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks, former Oakland Athletic, former A's bench coach. Terry Francona is with us here on A's Cast Live. Billy Owens, assistant general manager for the Oakland Athletics. The great Sarah Langs is with us. David Forrest, the general manager of your Oakland Athletics.
A's Cast Live had you covered at the winter meetings.
That's going to do it live from the winter meetings. I hope everybody enjoyed the coverage. We had a great time. Hopefully you had a great time watching.
If you missed any of the interviews from the 3 days, go to athletics.com/A'sCast to listen or youtube.com/athletics to watch today.
Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game times, schedules, and more.
When Northern California businesses need some pop in their lineup, they call the bank rooted in the East Bay. Mechanics Bank. Since 1905, Mechanics Bank has been helping Bay Area and Northern California businesses find success and perform at the top of their game. See how they can make a difference in your business today. Call or stop by your local branch or visit mechanicsbank.com. Mechanics Bank, the official East Bay bank of the Oakland A's. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Like sports, business is about winning. Championship decisions are business decisions based on what it takes to help your company win. And that's why there's UBO Business Services, specializing in helping you win every day by streamlining workflows, managing documents, and providing the best-in-class office technology. Make your championship decision with UBO Business Services. Visit them at ubeo.com. That's ubeo.com.
Streaming from the East Bay, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
I mean, I could do this every day.
This or talk about Brody tearing his hamstring?
This. When people say they love living in Arizona, this is the time of year. And then when we're here in a month from now, spring training, you understand this is when the Valley of the Sun is at its best. It doesn't get any better than this. I mean, really, in the country where you go weather right now, I mean, hardly any wind, 70, it's been around 73 to 75 today, absolutely perfect. But the problem is that will turn. And then all of a sudden, oh boy, the left fielder on field one has gone down, and he has gone down hard, and he's not getting up. He went for it. Oh, he's limping.
Oh boy, another one.
He's limping and has a bad shoulder.
We can promise you it is not Brody out there in left field.
We have a man down. We have a man down. Oh boy. But the problem is that once you leave spring training, it starts to get hot. And then as Adam Rosales said, it's 110 to 115 every day, and it's relentless. It doesn't stop. So it's like if you have that kind of wealth and the kind of job where you can have a place in different parts of the country throughout the year, this is a great spot to be at this time of the year.
Oh yeah, I love the weather right now. I mean,
who does it? 70. That's like 73 degrees.
I might put my sunglasses on because it's right here. But
I forgot. You know what? I forgot what the sun looked like, so I forgot sunglasses because I haven't put sunglasses on him for so long.
We sound like we're coming from like the Pacific Northwest. What is this sun?
It's like we're from Seattle. All right, I want you to play Kylie McDaniel from ESPN. We were talking to him about who's some potential people the A's could sign this offseason. This is a guy that he brought up.
All right, I got a name for you. I think I asked 5 executives about this guy, and I think I got 5 different answers, which tells me that variance, that's what you're looking for at the low dollar amount. Like, might be released, might be an all-star. That's the variance you want for Oakland. His name is Shintaro Fujinami, righty out of the NPB in Japan. Throws really hard, control just okay, but it's good, above average stuff. He's been one of these big names that's been throwing hard since he was young, coming out of college. Hasn't quite put it all together, but again, going back to some of these like Zach Eflin kind of guys, some teams think he might be a starter, and it might be 2 years, $6 million, or one of those deals like Nick Martinez and Robert Suarez did this year, where it's just like 3 straight player options, where as long as he doesn't shoot the moon, you just kind of keep him for $4 or $5 million a year and keep rolling it over again. So I think for less than $10 million, I bet you could get a couple years and try to figure out if you could harness all this. Because I kind of think his game, you look at a lot of the Japanese pitchers that come over, they tend to have very similar motions. They tend to be low 90s, good command, split finger. Like a lot of them do a lot of the same things. He's more of an American style pitcher where it's power, and I'm not quite sure where it's going yet. And so I think he might thrive in our game a little bit more, where power is a more important aspect. And that also goes for Kodai Senga, the guy that might get $80 million. He's also fastball, splitter, command in, breaking ball in. Like there's a little bit of Kevin Gausman to his game. But I think Fujinami might be a guy for teams like Oakland, Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, those kinds of teams that are kind of diving into the bargain bin. He's got to check out that guy.
He called it. He absolutely called it. Unreal.
That was back in November, like November 19th. So almost up 3 months ago.
I mean, very, very impressive. And the depth now, and like we said before the injured one, Brody Brazil showed up. When you start looking at our 40-man roster and you start talking about pitching, you knock on wood with everything that you got going, I just don't see that right now as the weakness.
No, sorry, I'm
Stop typing.
Well, because I saw Carney coming up, so I was getting ready to type up his bio for us for the stream.
I don't see it as the weakness.
No. You look at the positions that we're trying to figure out who's going to hit home runs and who's going to play in the outfield. Starting pitching is going to be something that's going to be very good for this team. Bullpen, we'll figure out what AJ Puck's role is going to be something something we're tracking a lot in spring training.
Yeah, it's something that I'm excited about, because if there's one thing that you're going to have to do, and if they're going to have any chance, and Carney Lansford, the World Series champion, the batting title champion, as much as he knows, if you can pitch, throw quality strikes, and play defense, you're going to have somewhat of a shot.
Exactly right. That's all. With these guys, are you talking about these guys out
well,
here?
we were just talking about the A's going into spring training.
yeah.
But
Well,
it does. You know what? What people don't understand is it doesn't matter what level of baseball it is.
Yeah.
Because you even coached at a lower level.
Oh, yeah.
You understand. I mean, if you do the fundamental things,
Yeah.
you'll have a chance.
That's what we tell these guys before every game. Just catch the ball, pitch the ball, hit the ball. That's simple. If you could do that, if you get pitchers in these fantasy camps that can throw strikes, you got a really good chance.
At the big league level, if you throw quality,
That's it.
right, you got a chance.
That's right. You don't win them if you don't have great pitching. You know that.
Well, that's the one thing we're just talking about, the Japanese pitcher that was signed. It gives the A's some depth, and that's hopefully something that we're going to see. How much fun are you having?
It's a blast. This is like the 5th time or so that I've done this.
Yeah.
And I love it because these guys just love baseball. They just want to be here. They're all different ages. They're having fun and nice people. It's just great to be out here with them. Nice to be here, too, to see some former teammates.
Well, and yeah, I know for you guys, when you don't get to see each other, you only get to see each other like one time a year. It's really tough when COVID comes and you miss a couple of years. It's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. And Steiny lives in Minnesota. So, I see him actually quite a bit considering he lives in Minnesota, but it's always nice to see him. It's a nice break for him and his wife to get out of that weather and get out here and have some nice weather. So it's good. I see Greg Cadre every once in a while. Stu, I see a lot.
Well, and I think for you, when we always have you on, we love to talk about how you grew up in the South Bay and you grew up an A's fan. So just what a treat it was for you and your family to be able to star and play for the Oakland Athletics. And whenever I see, and it's just because for a lot of guys out there today and for someone like myself, for when we grew up idolizing you guys and that team, that late 80s team, we see you guys. Like when I see you and I see Stu and I see you guys back in the A's uniform, it kind of brings the kid out in me. I'm sure a lot of these players tell you that.
Yeah, it's nice. It's always nice to put the uniform back on. It's nice. The A's now do a really good job of bringing former players back to the Coliseum every once in a while. So that's just really nice for us. We love seeing each other and love putting this uniform on and being with fans that just love Oakland A's baseball.
And it's great how all these guys will tell you the stories about how much, I remember this game and I remember that game, and that'll happen throughout the whole camp.
Yeah, and it's great. If it's a good memory for them, and I don't even know if some of it's true or not, but hey, if it makes them feel good, I'm all in.
What kind of hacks you seeing out there right now?
Actually, with our team, I think we may have only struck out maybe one time today so far, and we're like in the bottom of the 5th inning. So, when our pitchers are throwing strikes, the guys are making plays. So it's been a lot of fun. Last time I did this before COVID, we didn't win a game.
Oh, really?
I coached with Greg Cadre. We didn't win a game. So, hey, we got a shot today. I'm happy.
And one of the things that, we just had with Brody being up here in this bad hamstring now is that you try, guys, we want to make you got to make the whole camp.
Yeah.
So today, let's have some fun, ease into it, and you don't need to go all out on day one.
I'm telling you, we've seen it all here over the years. And I know we're playing Shooty's team today, and they've already lost 2 guys in the first day. So, yeah, you got to kind of take it easy. These guys are using muscles that they don't normally use. So, including Brody, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happened. I told Brody, that's what happens when you pretend to be an athlete.
and he's younger, for God's sake.
I know. It was unexpected to have him blow out.
So, the new rules coming out, and just your opinion, because obviously you know so much about hitting. How much are you looking forward to this season and not seeing the shifting?
Well, for me, being a guy that used the whole field, I guess I say, if you didn't want to see the shift, don't be a pull hitter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Use the whole field and they won't do that. That's a simple way to stop teams from doing that. Now, if you're a dead pull hitter like let's say Big Poppy was or whatever, yeah, you go ahead and shift on him because he has one thing he's trying to do, and that's try to go deep. But most guys, I think if they just try to use the whole field, learn to use the whole field, that would have stopped anyways. But I'm glad to see it go away because I don't like seeing 5 guys on one side of the field. I'd like to see them. It's just I just think it's a lot more fair if you give them a little distance, but not totally on the other side of the base.
Well, you've taught hitting for so long, and it's just like these hitters were so stubborn, or maybe the teams didn't want them to adjust. They still wanted that dead pull trying to hit over the yard, and just the game got boring.
I be honest with you, I don't watch a lot of games anymore. If you talk to a number of former players, old-timer guys, I consider myself now, that's how old I am, an old-timer player, we hate the way it's played now. And they have the analytics thing and the bat launch angle, whatever it is. It's tough enough at the major league level to hit the ball consistently, but to try to put a certain launch angle or whatever, at least go back to see the ball, hit the ball, try to use the whole field. There's hits all over that field. Try to foul line to foul line. That's the way I used to try and teach guys.
You hit the ball all over the yard.
But I tried to teach guys when I was hitting coach, hey, there's line drives all over that field. So, but I'm glad that, they're getting away from that shift thing.
And, with the stolen base looking like it's going to come back, I mean, that's a whole nother weapon because what will be interesting to see if there's a team that takes advantage of the new rule and steals a lot of bases and win more games. So all of a sudden you don't have 30 teams that all look the same.
Yeah. That's, the last few years at least, the strategy is just to try and go deep. That's it. Everybody try and hit home runs. I don't care if I strike out 150 times a year. For me, when I played, I did that one time early in my career before I really had somebody that taught me how to use the whole field. But if I struck out 100 times a year, it'd be hard for me to go home and look at myself in the mirror. But now guys, nowadays it's so common, guys strike out 150 times. Back when I played, I think we had maybe a handful of guys that did that.
Yeah.
And, the Rob Deere kind of hitters, guys like
that. He was always the guy that people brought up, Rob Deere.
Yeah, but he knew his job. On that team, you had other great hitters on the Milwaukee Brewers. You had Cecil Cooper and Robin Yount, Paul Molitor, all those guys that were great hitters.
Harvey's wall bangers.
That's it right there. So you could have a guy like that. But now it's like everybody almost like trying to hit home runs and just strike it out 100, 150 times a year. It's hard to watch for me.
When you think back of the amount of talent you guys had on those great A's teams, and it's just, I remember when we had Tony Russo on talking about it because he's had so many great teams, but he knows that the talent of those teams, which is just like when you think back and you think of just the players that not only did you have the players, you guys were like a rock band. I mean, you guys were like rock stars, that team.
And the telltale sign of that is when you go on the road and you play and there's more people with green and gold in the stands on the road than there is for the home team. That's how, and we had people just waiting for us to come out of the hotel before we get on the bus. I mean, it was just crazy. It was like rock star status because we had all the guys, Jose, Ricky, Eck, Stu, just go on and on and on. I mean, McGuire, we had great players and they knew how to play the game.
Yeah, that's, I mean, whenever we go through the names, it's hard to believe that many great players were on one team. It was like it's like you guys truly, even though you didn't think about it. I don't know. Did you think about that? Like, we have an all-star team.
Yeah, we did have an all-star team, basically. And even our bench guys were really good players. Stan Javier's and Luis Pilonia and guys like that. When we gave a guy off, a veteran player, a day off, we didn't drop a notch. I mean, those guys came out when they got their opportunity, they played hard. And so, we didn't have any weaknesses on that team. We had a great bullpen, great long relievers, short relievers, Honeycutt to set up, Eckersley. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more.
So you were Terry Steinbach. You're coaching with him, right?
Yes.
What are the odds you bring this thing home this year?
I didn't win a game the last time with Greg Cataray, but I'm blaming Greg.
You can do that.
We got a pretty good team out there. So I haven't seen any other teams besides Shooties.
Yeah.
So I got to wait a couple more games or a couple more days, but I'm feeling pretty good about this team.
It's interesting. The coaches get a little competitive because Stu was up here and Stu's like, I've won it 6 times and I expect to win again. And I think everybody's gunning for Stu.
The first time I did this, I wasn't aware of how it really worked, but Bert Campaneris said to me before the draft, where we drafted these guys, you don't understand, but these guys want to win. They really want to win. So, we got to try and coach them up and do the right thing here. And he's right. These guys like to have fun, but they like to win. They're competitive.
Yeah, to me, when I think about this opportunity, and we're talking about, because there's a lot of people back in the Bay Area have been dealing with the flooding and the rain and everything, and you're like, what a great gift, whether it's a Christmas gift, birthday gift, what a great gift this would be.
It really is. I know a lot of people that have done that, given it to them as birthday gifts or Christmas gifts or whatever. And I can't, if you're a huge A's fan, if you want to give like the perfect gift to that fan, sign them up for fantasy camp.
Well,
perfect. They have a great time, and Shooty leads this thing, and he does a tremendous job.
Well, A's fans absolutely love you. They always will love you, what you've meant to this franchise and this history, and always getting you on this program means a lot.
Well, been my pleasure. I love the Oakland A's fans. So,
Carney Lansford, one of the great A's of all time, right here on A's Cast Live. We'll have more from Fantasy Camp coming up next.
The 2022 MLB winter meetings from San Diego are now in the past, and A's Cast Live was all over it.
Well, once again, here from the winter meetings in San Diego.
From the signing of Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge is going back to the Bronx. He's agreed to a 9-year deal worth $360 million.
And Trey Turner.
Trey Turner gets 11 years, $300 million. 11 years.
To the biggest names in the sport.
Chris Russo, the Mad Dog, the great Bob Melvin. Great Samfold right here on A's Cast Live. Torey Lovullo, the manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks, former Oakland Athletic, former A's bench coach. Terry Francona is with us here on A's Cast Live. Billy Owens, assistant general manager for the Oakland Athletics. The great Sarah Langs is with us. David Forrest, the general manager of your Oakland Athletics.
A's Cast Live had you covered at the winter meetings.
That's going to do it live from the winter meetings. I hope everybody enjoyed the coverage. We had a great time. Hopefully you had a great time watching.
If you missed any of the interviews from the 3 days, go to athletics.com/A'sCast to listen, or youtube.com/athletics to watch today.
Humanity has accomplished a whole lot so far. We created penicillin, the automobile, and the internet, not to mention drones, duct tape, and the hot dog. It's all thanks to the power of human connections. And Ring Central's here to make that even easier, more seamlessly and securely, on a platform built to grow your business. Say hello to a whole new way to say hello. Visit ringcentral.com and say hello to possibilities. Ring Central. Message, video, phone, together.
Oakland Athletics spring training is right around the corner, and you can be part of the excitement. Get your tickets now and plan ahead for a fun-filled trip to Mesa, Arizona this spring. Pack the sunscreen, bring your friends, pick up some ballpark classics, and watch your green and gold get ready for the regular season. Get your tickets today to see the Athletics take on the Giants, Padres, Cubs, Dodgers, and more. Tickets are on sale now at athletics.com/spring. That's athletics.com/spring.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Correa here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
Martin Gallegos of MLB.com stopped by A's Cast Live and laid out the plan to build the next core of players for the A's.
In terms of getting more competitive towards next year, you hope that some of these guys who got called up this year, like Shea Langoliers, Nick Allen, Jordan Diaz, some of these guys, take that next step next year, have their full year under their belt. And along with, other guys like Tyler Soderstrom and Zach Geloff finish the year at AAA, you hope that those guys can come up at some point, whether it's, the second half, and kind of start, building something here, a core group of guys like we saw, a few years back with Chapman, Olsen, Pinder, all these guys that came up. See these guys, who have won together in the minors kind of start to mesh at the big league level. And if you can kind of develop that core next year, I think that's what it's all about for next year, taking a step forward, being more competitive, winning more games than this year, but more importantly, I think finding that core group of players, core group of young guys, out of those prospects that you have down there, and hope that some of them evolve into, players who you can count on for the next few years to lead that next, playoff group here in Oakland.
To listen to the full interview and much more, go to athletics.com/A'sCast.
A's fans, there is no better way to stay in touch with the A's and even our players than following us on social media. Just head over to athletics.com/social. That's athletics.com/social for a full list of our social coverage, from player accounts to Twitter handles and more. Now is the time to stay in touch. Head over to athletics.com/social. That's athletics.com/social today.
The Oakland Athletics begin spring training on February 25th. Now's the time to make plans to catch us in Mesa, Arizona, and enjoy the sunshine of your family and friends. Buy your tickets early for the best seats at the lowest prices as your green and gold take on the Giants, Dodgers, Padres, Angels, and more at Hohokam Stadium.
And Tony, it's a deep drive to right in the corner. Gritchick going back. He'll turn and watch it fly.
Get your tickets at athletics.com/spring. That's athletics.com/spring.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is a national brand with family-owned prices and service. You can shop at one of their Barrie locations, and all stores are sanitized and safe, or you can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Flex.
A's Cast Live continues from the town. Here's Chris Townsend.
Since we've been off for a couple days, we haven't really been able to address, which was the biggest story in our sport, the Carlos Correa situation, which has now been resolved. I actually hosted the Santa Clara County Baseball Banquet, 37th year. You need to show up to that next year, Cody. Honored Mitch Haniger, Jock Peterson, Ron Wotus, a lot of little leaguers, college players. It was great. And I started telling jokes about the Giants, and one of them was Carlos Correa, and I kind of got the too soon. I had to do the too soon. But yes, Carlos Correa has finally signed with the Minnesota Twins. And I have to tell you, I think in the end, as funny as the whole drama thing is, I mean, you're talking about in 29 days, he signed contract. He agreed to over $800 million worth of contracts.
$865 to be exact.
Over $800 million in 3 days. And since he agreed to terms with 3 different teams, Carlos Correa this offseason agreed to play for 10% of all baseball teams. I want you to think about that. 10% of the league signed or agreed to sign Carlos Correa in the offseason of 2022 leading into 2023. That's how crazy the Carlos Correa saga was. I doubt we'll ever see anything like it again. I do feel bad for him. It's your one chance for that big payroll. And as of right now, he lost well over $100 million. I mean, there are these incentives after year 6 and all this kind of stuff that can take his package from $200 million to $270 million, whatever the exact numbers are. But it's over $100 million. He was going to get that 100, 312, 300, whatever, guaranteed. So I feel bad, because you only really get a bite at that apple one time. But he'll be okay. He'll survive off these. He's made probably over or close to $100 million already, and now he'll get this. His family's going to be fine. He's got the generational wealth. But in the end, I think this is going to be really good for baseball. And let me tell you why. Until this sport is able to get a salary cap, and to really flourish the way it could for all teams. And that could be coming. Even though people say it's crazy, you just go, you have no idea the fight that's coming up in this next CBA between all the owners. There is a massive thing that's going to happen. We can get into that at a different time. But Carlos Correa signing for what he did will now set precedent for mid-market and smaller market teams. Because when you get into the precedent of 11, 13 years, 300 plus million, you take all those teams out of baseball. You take them out. Majority of the teams are not going to do that. And they shouldn't. Because as we have seen, until we see a player play into his 40s at a high level, without PEDs, play into his 40s at a high level, not worth the money. It's not worth the investment. And I don't care what people try and sell you on, well, if they win a World Series, then it's not worth the investment. If that guy, there's plenty of players that have won World Series that you didn't need to spend that kind of money for. Most of these players, by the way, who sign these contracts never win World Series in these contracts. Most of the $100 million guys haven't won World Series. It's fact. The biggest contracts in baseball, most of these guys don't win World Series. I mean, you can look, two of the big ones that they're trying to get, that we just got rid of. The Angels finally got rid of Albert Pujols. They didn't win one. Tigers are still with this albatross around their neck with Miguel Cabrera. Never got one. Did they get to one? Yeah. But they didn't win one. So it's like these big mega contracts don't get. Bryce Harper got you to a World Series, great. He didn't win one. These mega contracts don't guarantee you anything. Mookie got one, but everybody still looks at that as the 2020 World Series, which the Dodgers didn't benefit financially like you normally do. To try and justify the contract. Hey, they won a World Series, but they didn't get the wherewithal money-wise from winning that. But the point of the matter is that for baseball, until we can get some type of better structure of signing contracts, this one is going to be the precedent. Because if you are a team that's a mid-level to a lower-level financially for a team, I need to say that better. If you're wherewithal financially more of a middle to a lower team, making the commitment to a player for 6 years, and then everything after that is he has to earn it, is something that I think a franchise like ours and others can accept. There's always going to be risk when you sign players. But the risk of 11 years, 13 years, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Personally, I don't think that's going to happen long-term in our sport. That's something that they put in the CBA, that trying to sign long-term deals to circumvent the luxury tax is frowned upon. It's very vague. Once again, this is going to be part of the major fight coming up here in the next collective bargaining agreement. They do not want that. Hockey had it. It failed. Hockey legislated it out of their game. Baseball will have to do that also. That's why I think the Correa deal actually, as for now, as a duct tape, a precedent, it's a duct tape precedent. Like, you can live with this if you're someone like the Minnesota Twins, if you're the Oakland Athletics, the Kansas City Royals, the Arizona Diamondbacks. You can now look at this and go, okay, 6 years. 6 years of a player of prime years, of his late 20s, early 30s, prime years, I can pay for that. What I don't want to pay for is when you hit 35, 36, 37. I don't want to pay for that unless you're still that player. And if I can put in a contract that after 6 years, call it 5, call it 7, call it whatever you want, after that X amount of years, you now have to earn the rest of the money. And if you don't live up to whatever goals, whatever numbers we want to put in there, if you can't live up to that, we're not paying you. And that's what this Carlos Correa deal now is for baseball. It might be one of the better deals we have seen for the game in recent years. It finally is a big term, got to earn it deal. You want that $270 million? Well, 70 of that million, you're going to have to be on the field and you're going to have to be productive to earn it. The first 6 years, we're going to guarantee it. Great contract, $200 million, fantastic. But after that, it's all about you earning it. I think it's a good precedent to set.
Yeah, and
I should say to set.
Yeah, because it's a vesting deal. It's a $70 million, which I think I have it in here. Yeah, years 7 through 10, and the Twins deal, if he vests, it would be 25, 20, 15, and 10. So it gradually goes down for Minnesota, but it adds up to 270. I think that this would be, because we saw it with hockey and how they've done it with their deals. You can re-sign your own players up to 8 years. Correa was technically a Twin, so they were able to sign him for 7 or 6. And then free agents, I think, in hockey is 7. So own guys 8, free agents 7. I think that's a good way to do it for baseball if you want to structure it. And you're right.
Well, you can't do that because they have a salary cap. We don't have a salary cap.
I'm saying if we ever went towards the salary cap or the 4.
But right now, where we are, other agents now and other teams will look at this contract as the precedent and go, well, why don't we do something like, instead of saying, well, we're just going to give you 11 years, all guaranteed, and this is like a really bad Trey Turner deal or a Xander Bogaerts deal, or would have been a very bad Carlos Correa deal with the Giants. Now what we're going to do is the new Carlos Correa deal. I could look at, take a player like Matt Olson. Say, all right, Matt Olson, we're going to guarantee you 6 years, and then we're going to tack on 3-4 more years, and all those years you have to earn it.
I like that idea. And I was thinking of and one thing you mentioned, well, you didn't mention, but you mentioned to me yesterday with Correa, that's going to be precedent, is the pending physical.
Oh, didn't even, you know what? We had never thought about that. So we're on the flight, right? And we land. And who signed yesterday? Oh, it was Nelson Cruz. Signed a 1 year,
$1 million deal.
1 year, $1 million deal with the San Diego Padres pending the physical. And I said, you know what? For at least the next, I don't know, year or so, whenever I saw pending physical, never thought about it. Absolutely never thought about it. It's a done deal. He just has to pass a physical. That's not a big deal. I have never thought about pending physical before until now. Now when it says pending physical, I am now going to say, well, he's got to pass the physical to make that. Because when a guy misses not 1 but 2 physicals,
yeah, it wasn't a good look. But yeah, I never thought of it that way until you said that pending physical. I'm like, yeah, I think everyone's going to start looking at this in every sport now more closely than they have before.
And now joining us, a man who is all about finding talent, who goes all over this great United States looking for talent. That's his job. But today he is a coach. He is a leader of men out here in Mesa, Arizona, who I had to say earlier today looks beautiful in this uniform. I mean, this white uniform, it screams Shooty Babbitt. The great one of the great scouts in our game, TV talent on NBC California doing A's pre- and post-game live. There's nothing that he can't do in this great game, because in this league, we know there's no league bigger than this league. It is the great Shooty Babbitt here once again on A's Cast Live.
And Townie, once again, it's such an honor and a blessing to be here. Thank you, man. It's a beautiful day in the Bay, and if I had the power and the will, I would just will a bunch of this beautiful sunshine and great weather up to our folks up in the Bay Area. So we're pulling for you for some dry weather, and I just want to thank the A's for once again having me down here, man. The campers are so excited. We got froze out of here for a couple of years because of the pandemic and everything that's going on in the world, but just to see the joy and the excitement and the love for baseball with these guys is what makes it all worth the while. So, man, I'm so happy just to be here again.
You said it, a whole lot of joy. There's a lot of joy. There's a lot of fun. And to watch middle-aged men and women get in uniform and act like kids again is what it's all about.
This is a kid's game. As boys, we grew up just having a good time playing the game because we loved it. After a while, you found out that you might have been talented enough to play a little longer. But that's the joy of this. And the thing for me is the one message that I like to make sure that the people that come to this camp is this is fantasy camp. This is a week where we get an opportunity to forget about all the things that are going on in our life that are good or bad that we need to escape from, and just get a breath of fresh air and kind of fall off the earth, if you will. And what better way to do it? Something that you love to do. The A's roll it out first class here. These guys are getting an opportunity to play on major league fields. And you know, Tony, this place right here, there's no place bigger than this when you start talking about baseball. And just to see some of the guys and to hear them say, I can't believe that I'm here. I can't believe some of the players that I've grown up to love so much that I'm standing on the same dirt. So we don't take this week for granted because we understand the impact and the magnitude that it have in lives mentally. We've all suffered. We all have issues in our families, and we need to pull together, bring each other together. Hopefully we'll leave here with a lot of joy, and some of that rubs off on the people that we come across, man. But just to be a part of this family, you meet people that become friends forever and family. And it's a joy, man. This is like my 19th year doing fantasy camp. It's unbelievable how quickly the time changes, but I can't tell you how many friends, lifetime friends that I've gained here that have been great to me and my family as well. So, man, I'm blessed, Tony. I have nothing. I'm not worthy of complaining about one thing.
All right, so yesterday you played golf at the sister course at TPC Scottsdale. I try to tell everybody that's where the Waste Management, where the PGA Tour is going to be in a couple weeks. It's a beautiful course. Top Golf last night, got baseball activity going this morning. You guys had your draft. You had your first games. Just talk us through now, Kate. Now you've had your first set of games. Guys are going to go in, have some beers, get some ice, act like players do after games. Take us how things start rolling the rest of the week.
Not some ice. It's a whole lot of
ice tubs.
Yeah, I think that I'm going to anoint this National Hammy Day. There was about 6 of them out here, and my boy Bro, blowout, Hammy Brazil, one sprint, Brody.
Blowout. Brody blowout Brazil.
I couldn't get my phone out fast enough to take a picture of him rolling on the ground over there after he blew out, man. And I told him 3 weeks ago, I said, Brody, I can't tell you about how to prepare to hit or anything, but please stretch, run a little bit, man, because the adrenaline is going to be flowing and you're going to try to fire off in the first thing he's going to happen. Lo and behold, he puts one in play. All of a sudden, he's sniffing a hit. Are you kidding me? And it was a wrap.
Johnny one sprint. I saw a poor guy out here. Brody's a young guy. I saw an older guy out here on field 1. So behind us is field 3, field 2 to the right, and on the other side of this camera is field 1, and we can see the game going on. And just a weak fly ball to left. Guy sniper. He trips, falls on his knee, his shoulder, older guy inside the park. But that's the fun part. Getting hurt is also kind of part of the fun. You're being an athlete again.
Only in fantasy camp can you see a guy dive for a ball and give up a grand slam on a ball that doesn't even get to the fence, man. So you see everything here. But you asked about what happens for the rest of the camp. Today we had to draft. We had instructional stations. Guys got an opportunity to get their stuff loose and ready and break their cleats in a little bit. You can see they were very nervous just being here today, and it's natural. Every year it's the same way. Our club didn't play particularly well, and we've seen that time and time again. They'll go in today. That training room will be full. There'll be a line for people to get in there. They'll have their beverages. They'll tell stories. They'll get their rest. Hopefully nobody goes to bed early because you come down here to have a good time. And tomorrow is the best time of the day in the morning when we have Kangaroo Court. Dallas Braden is now the head judge in our camp, and he does a tremendous job. And boy, I don't know if we're going to have enough time to bring all the cases to him. I mean, there's a lot of crazy things going on in this camp, but that's the fun of it, man. I'm just glad to see these guys having a great time.
Yeah, so we'll have games Friday, Saturday, Sunday, championship on Monday.
The plan is to have 2 games a day. Man, I was lucky enough to get my guys through 6 innings today. That's how they were blowing out and arms are sore.
Yeah, you had like 3 guys get injured.
Yeah, we had a guy that got hit in the face in the cage today from an errant throw. They don't even know where it came from. He ended up at the dentist getting his grill fixed. And even came back for the 5th inning and got behind the plate and caught. So that tells you how much these guys love the game. So there'll be 2 games a day. There'll be a round robin that'll start on Saturday, and then there's a championship game Monday at the stadium game that they play in spring training. So a lot of baseball to be played, a lot of fun, a lot of laughter. I think we're so fortunate to have the group of guys that we have here for coaches. When you talk about Dave Stewart, Steiny, Carney Lansford, Greg Catter, Ray Dallas, Braden, Bobby Crosby. I mean, these are well-known A's players who had great careers in the green and gold. And for them to be able to come back and interact and tell some of the stories and share some of the careers and the joy that they had when these people lived it with them, it's unbelievable. So we're off to a decent start. The only thing that I'm not liking about today is, the amount of injuries that we have, because the one thing that we talked to the campers about early on is trying to take care of your body as well as you can so that you can last throughout the week. The last thing we want to see is somebody get hurt on the first day and they can't make it. I mean, I think one of the good things, though, we're going to create a new award next year, and we'll give it to the first guy, and he'll get the Brody Brazil blowout Hammy Award. And so Brody's name will resonate in this camp for years to come. So congratulations, bro.
The first blowout. For you as a scout, and you've been doing this, is this getting ready for this event, which kind of starts getting you ready, getting you going, knowing that baseball season is a long time for you. It's a lot of traveling. It's a lot of hotels. It's a lot of road. It's a lot of, you do the TV, and no one dresses better on TV than you, but there is a lot. There's a lot going on for you with the scouting and everything.
No, in my opinion, is not. What's going on a lot are those people that are trying to get across the Bay Bridge every morning and then get back home in the rain and have to go home and take care of their families and do the things that take you till 10, 11 o'clock to do, and then get back up in the morning and do it again every day. I'm blessed to be able to make a living in the game that I love and do the things that I'm so fortunate to do. There's so many players that would love to get the opportunity, former players, to live the life that I'm living in the game right now. I've been off for 3 months. I'm starting to get the itch again because spring training is right around the corner, and I'm making my schedule out. I'm getting ready. I'm getting prepared. This is relaxation. I told the campers today, I've been doing this for 13 years, and I have not seen not one player that I thought about signing. So don't even think about it. Okay. So I tell you what I do have more of appreciation for are the coaches. I'm a single guy right now because we had a couple of guys that weren't able to attend. But all the things that are going on in a simple game like this, you can't keep up with all the things, the outfielders, the pitchers, positioning guys, the hitter, just so much. It just tells you how much preparation goes in day by day by day with these guys. We've got minor leaguers down here getting ready for spring training. Man, this is the best place to be right now in January.
And I know as a scout, you got to uncover every stone. You talk to everybody, and certain people give you the best information. When you go down and you look at a young player, you got to talk to his coaches. You got to talk to his parents. Girlfriend might give you answers. You talk to everybody who gives much information on guys.
Well, I think that's the key. I mean, it's not a secret on the guys that can play. You can see that. But sometimes you got to find out what they're made of and what makes their clock tick, if you will. And you can't see that all. And as a scout, you are expected to be able to find a complete package of this guy, things that we don't know. Spend time off the field. Spend time places where these guys may spend their spare time. Talk to people that know more about them than you do. But the bottom line, you want to get as much information that you possibly can because you're gathering something that you're trying to put together and think that you have the right model. So, man, it's every day you're getting smarter. The game is evolving. When you start talking about analytics and everything else and the way that our game is scouted globally, it's a constant challenge to get better, try to stay one step ahead. But I think there's no replacement for a scout. Told me years ago, as long as you have good eyes and you got twice as good ears, you can stay a pretty good scout.
Adam Rosales said something that was pretty fascinating that a lot of people don't think about. And you talk about the international side of this, where he's gotten these kids now that he's managing down here in Arizona. He gets these kids from like the Dominican, and they get here, and it's such a hard journey for them just to get here. And they feel like, oh, I made it. I got here. And then he's got to rewire them like, yeah, but now it's just starting. I mean, you talk about what you have to do at the bottom level to prepare guys to move up levels, the coaching and the amount of good coaching that you got to have. We don't talk about it enough at the big league level. You know, you got to have quality coaching at the bottom to get these guys up to the top.
I think that people minimize when you hear player development, because these guys typically, when they get to big leagues, they're supposed to be in position to be penciled in and to play and perform right away. And that's the way that it used to be. But there's patience. There's a lot of work that goes into it. These are professionals. This is not amateur baseball anymore. This is not pickup baseball. This is not because you were the best guy at your high school. This is being one of the best guys in the world. And when you show up here, wherever you came from, you might have been the best where you were, but guess what? Everybody else that's here were the best where they were. Everybody's talented, but what separates you is your work ethic and your fortitude and your ability to make adjustments and improve your game on a daily basis. And if you're not a hard worker, this game will catch up with you.
If you had advice to any of the young players, because, you know, I get all the time. I told everybody I emceed this event before I came down here, the Santa Clara County banquet, that baseball banquet that's been going on for 37 years. And these young kids came up to me, I watch the show all the time, or I listen to it. So if they're watching now, what advice would you give for a young baseball player who wants to make this his profession?
First of all, know who you are and be yourself and improve that. You have something going for you that have allowed you to play at the level that you're playing at now, because early on, guys figure out they don't like baseball, they're not good, and they don't want to play anymore. But if you survive, it's because you have some skill and you have some will. You work on your craft, you breathe about your craft, you sleep about everything you do is about your craft. It's your religion, it's your family, and it's your craft. And don't let anybody tell you that you can't make it. I was a 27th round draft pick. That was the last day. And there weren't many people that believed that I could play. Might have been because of the way that I was built, the way I look. I don't know. But all I needed to do was get an opportunity. And I didn't take that opportunity for granted. So you never know as a young kid when your opportunity is going to present yourself. I got a chance because a scout was in the park one day and he saw me run down a ball from shortstop down the left field line that most guys would have gave up on and quit on. But I ran that ball down and I didn't stop and I made a play. And I asked the scout, what did you see in me? All the guys out of Berkeley that did not get an opportunity, why me? He said, I saw you make a play one day that most guys would have gave up on. So you just never know what's going to be the time that you're going to get your opportunity. All I can say is work out like somebody's watching you every single time you put on a glove or you step in the gym. Think that somebody's looking for something positive where they'll take a chance on you.
One play. Guy saw one play.
One play.
And that led to you getting into the big leagues.
And I'm going to tell you, as a scout, there's been plenty of times where I've gone to see one particular guy that we had a lot of information on, and he was the dude. And I'm like, well, who's the little shortstop? You know what I mean? Who's moving it around? Who can hit and run like that? Who's playing the game the way it's supposed to be played? It's 9 positions on that field out there. And it's a requirement as far as talent and skill level is concerned that you're required to do. So everybody, them big slobbermouth guys can't play in the middle up here. They got to go out there and stand on the corner and lean on that pole. You know what I'm saying? But if you're going to play in the middle, you got to be able to dance. So who knows when they may see that 2-step that you do that they say, yeah. I like him. He could play.
So out of all the years you've been here, how many times have you won it?
Oh, man. Put it like this. I'm the most hated coach in this camp.
Well, Dave Stewart was acting like that because he's like, I've won 6.
He's been on my team twice. We've been.
You carried Stu.
We were the Soul Train. There was one year we had dudes in the clubhouse walk in slinging their arms talking about Soul Train. No rhythm, no. But it was one of the greatest times. But, it's not about winning it. My whole thing is making sure when I run into somebody at the Coliseum and they say, hey, man, I was at the fantasy camp. It was one of the best times of my life. Yeah. I appreciate the time you spent. You took time to say hello to my kid and show him something. This is what it's all about. And you look at all the guys that have come to this fantasy camp, big name guys, but some of them don't survive. And because they don't understand the importance of making these people feel the way that they do and make them come back. There's guys that have been coming in for 15 and 16 years, and they spend anywhere from $3,500 to $5,000 to come down here. Not many people have that kind of disposable income. But there are necessities. There are things in the budget that you have to have. And these guys have budgeted this fantasy camp because they know how important it has been in their life. And the last thing that I want to do is come in here and spoil this experience, especially the way the Green and Gold has given me an opportunity to represent this organization. So that's the gratitude for me. Winning it, I'm happy for the guys, but I'm just happy when I see those guys come up at the banquet and they're so happy and they tell you thank you for a great time. It was everything that I thought it was, and I'm coming back next year.
This is why you come to fantasy camp right here. What's the team name this year?
We are the Stylistics.
The Stylistics. I know you guys already got, I saw it. You already got a little something.
We look like the limp nastics out there in the field today.
Get your boys in the training room. We've got days left to play.
Hey, and it's like we got 2 games to play tomorrow. We couldn't even get through 5 today. But you know what? I've worked magic before. And I've had teams that just got the brains beat out of them the first day, and we've come back and won. So that's what fantasy camp is all about.
You know what the best ability is?
Availability.
Availability.
No question about it.
Get your boys in the cold tub. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll be seeing you in the next couple of days. And then I can't wait to see you spring training.
No doubt, Tony. Thanks you so much for having me. And you know, Brian, no league bigger than this one.
The greatness that is Shooty Babbitt right here on A's Cast Live. We'll have more from Fantasy Camp.
The 2022 MLB winter meetings from San Diego are now in the past, and A's Cast Live was all over it.
Well, once again, here from the winter meetings in San Diego.
From the signing of Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge is going back to the Bronx. He's agreed to a 9-year deal worth $360 million.
And Trey Turner.
Trey Turner gets 11 years, $300 million. 11 years.
To the biggest names in the sport.
Chris Russo, the Mad Dog, the great Bob Melvin. Great Sam Fold right here on A's Cast Live. Torey Lovello, the manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks, former Oakland Athletic, former A's bench coach. Terry Francona is with us here on A's Cast Live. Billy Owens, assistant general manager for the Oakland Athletics. The great Sarah Langs is with us. David Forrest, the general manager of your Oakland Athletics.
A's Cast Live had you covered at the winter meetings.
That's going to do it live from the winter meetings. I hope everybody enjoyed the coverage. We had a great time. Hopefully you had a great time watching.
If you missed any of the interviews from the 3 days, go to athletics.com/A'sCast to listen or youtube.com/athletics to watch today.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Correa here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
The Oakland Athletics begin spring training on February 25th. Now's the time to make plans to catch us in Mesa, Arizona, and enjoy the sunshine with your family and friends. Buy your tickets early for the best seats at the lowest prices as your green and gold take on the Giants, Dodgers, Padres, Angels, and more at Hohokam Stadium.
And Tony, it's a deep drive to right in the corner. Gritchick going back. He'll turn and watch it fly.
Get your tickets at athletics.com/spring. That's athletics.com/spring.
This is Chris Townsend for the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. Great news! Our indoor dining is back, along with our beautiful patio dining. Come taste our world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 83 years. The Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek has one of the most dynamic menus, plus a full bar. Pot pies, gourmet burgers, sandwiches, salads, flatbreads, and more. Don't forget, we still do takeout and delivery. For all the information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Humanity has accomplished a whole lot so far. We created penicillin, the automobile, and the internet, not to mention drones, duct tape, and the hot dog. It's all thanks to the power of human connections. And Ring Central's here to make that even easier, more seamlessly and securely, on a platform built to grow your business. Say hello to a whole new way to say hello. Visit ringcentral.com and say hello to possibilities. Ring Central. Message, video, phone, together.
A's Cast Live continues from the town. Here's Chris Townsend.
All right, we have a special guest for you. I'm not supposed to tell you he was the last guy at the bar last night at the Delta Marriott. Well, then again, the only reason why we know is because, Commander, you were one of the last guys.
Wasn't just me. Belair was there too. I'm throwing him under the bus.
You can't throw the boss under the bus. You can't throw DA under the bus. I was, of course, drinking Diet Coke, so I was getting ready for tomorrow. You guys were all out of hand. Dan Pelkey, that's how you say your last name, right? Dan Pelkey. The reason why he is here is because he is known as the stud of the A's Fantasy Camp. He was the 2020 MVP, so he's the reigning MVP, and he's playing for Shooty Babbitt's team. You were on Shooty and Stu's team in 2020, right?
Yes, I was on his team last 2020. We won it in 2020 on Connie Lansford and Terry Steinbach's team this year. So we played against Shooty tonight or this evening.
Oh, so you who are you with right now?
I'm with Carney and Terry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just played against Shooty.
Okay, so you're on the team that saw blowout Brody Brazil go down.
We had an upfront seat to watch him go down, trying to leg out an infield single. And then he went down a second time as he was coaching first base to try and stay involved, and a foul ball came towards him and kind of gave one of these and went down again.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That is great. So, what? One of the reasons why we're here is to talk about how much fun, what this experience means, as we have both men and women here participating. Obviously, it's the love of the game. It's the love of this franchise, the Oakland Athletics. Why did you first start coming, and why do you keep coming back?
Well, I was lucky enough to, my wife knows I'm a lifelong A's fan, and she got me this for Christmas in 2019. So she gave me 3 weeks heads up that I'm going to fantasy camp.
Get in shape.
Yeah. So I hadn't swung a bat or hit off a pitcher in 25 years since high school. So I had to learn again very quickly. But it was, once I got out here, I've said it to everyone, best week of my life. It was an unbelievable experience. And the way that these coaches interact with us players and even our family, my wife and kids ended up surprising me in 2020. They came out and they actually interacted more with the coaches, with Shooty and Stu, while I was in the field playing. And so I was pretty jealous that they were getting more interaction time while I was out there playing. I'm watching them, over in the dugout and hanging out with them. And just every single coach was so welcoming, and just the way they interacted with me and my kids, my wife, was just above and beyond. And so my love of baseball, my love of the A's, the way that the staff, the coaches treat the players, and just up and down, it was an amazing experience. And it will be an annual thing for me and my family to come out here every year. It's something I circle on my calendar. That's all I need. I need a week out here.
Yeah, I love it.
We can do whatever else the rest of the year, but I need my week out here for this experience.
Yeah, the word joy keeps coming up, the joy on everybody's faces and how much joy this brings. But as you mentioned, with people that end up coming for multiple years, the families get involved.
Mhm.
And next thing you know, you can make this a family trip, or if it's just with your spouse. And there's obviously a lot of things to do here in the Valley of the Sun when someone's playing baseball. You've got a lot to do down here. I mean, this becomes more than just, hey, I'm coming out to play baseball.
It turns into, yes, a getaway for in my case, the family, and several other people's cases. I've definitely seen more spouses out here this year than the previous year, and I expect that to probably continue to grow year in and year out, because the staff is again so welcoming and interacting, and it's just not, there's no fakeness. It's genuine, and you can see it, you can feel it.
How much do you really feel and express to the people watching who have thought, yeah, fantasy camp, that sounds cool. Like, do I want to do it? Like, how much do you feel when you're in the locker room and this is where the A's players are and you're on these big league fields and the ground, the grass and the mounds and everything's perfect? How much really do you feel like a big leaguer?
They do their best to make it feel like a major league experience. I mean, the training staff in there, I'm going to go in there after this and get my shoulder iced up and they're going to massage me and take the gun to me. And just everything that comes with the major league experience is what's happening out here for us fantasy campers. And they try really hard to mimic that and they do a really good job of it.
How much did you have to prepare?
Well, like I said, I only had 3 weeks to prepare for the first time out here. Unfortunately, I had 3 years to prepare due to COVID.
You could be the most in shape guy in town.
But I mean, honestly, the talent level is the spectrum is so wide. So if you are hesitant because you feel like you would come out here and get run off the field, it's not the case.
No,
it is not the case. And you're gonna. I say this a lot too. Is I never laughed for a 5-state period like I do here. It's the camaraderie between the campers. We love giving each other crap if we see someone go down running down first base, as long as they're okay or they're tripping over their feet or whatever it is. We just razz each other. Coaches razz us, campers razz each other. It's all in fun, and it's just an amazing experience.
Yeah, it's the skill level. I think some people may be intimidated. They need to know a lot of people are just coming out here. They haven't not played baseball and they haven't played in 20, 30, 40 years, in some cases. So you should not be thinking there's a bunch of ringers out here.
Definitely no. There's there's a handful of very talented people, and there's some decent ball players, and there's some people who are just out here to have a good time. And I would not make that your deterrent if that's what's holding your back on coming out here. Try it out. Talk to other campers. I'm sure just the interactions with the campers, you see it in their eyes. You hear it in their voice when they talk about the campers, the camp, and even all the rookies. Last night when we were at Top Golf talking to all the rookies, that you can tell that when we're talking to them, they can see the joy in our face, and you can see them getting excited for the week ahead because they're going to experience that joy that we've done in the past for people who are returning. And
clearly this is something that has got to get you just fired up and ready for the actual baseball season. Because once you leave here, you now got to be gung-ho. We can't wait for baseball.
Yes. I mean, I'm baseball. Baseball is my love, always is. But yeah, come the end of the year, October, November, December, baseball kind of falls off the radar for most people. But that's when we start training a little bit more, getting ready for this. So baseball becomes a 12-month thing for us campers. Is we're getting ready those last 3 months, and then you have the regular season the rest of the time. So as a person who loves baseball, I'm all for it. 12 months out of the year, baseball, sign me up.
Well, thank you so much for the time. Go in, get iced up, get a cold one, and we'll probably see you later. I have a feeling we're going to see you later tonight.
I hope so.
All right. Appreciate the time.
You got it.
We're going to wrap it up next right here from Fantasy Camp.
Oakland Athletics spring training is right around the corner, and you can be part of the excitement. Get your tickets now and plan ahead for a fun-filled trip to Mesa, Arizona this spring. Pack the sunscreen, bring your friends, pick up some ballpark classics, and watch your green and gold get ready for the regular season. Get your tickets today to see the Athletics take on the Giants, Padres, Cubs, Dodgers, and more. Tickets are on sale now at athletics.com/spring. That's athletics.com/spring.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Correa here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
Hall of Famer and former A's closer Raleigh Fingers was on A's Cast Live and discussed how great the A's treat their alumni.
What does it mean to you and to your group of guys that the A's want to continue to celebrate you guys and your greatness?
Oh, I love Dave Fisher. They're great baseball fans, and they realize the history of the A's. And they love having us older generation guys coming back. And we get together just about every year, and we induct 2 or 3 guys from the past into the Oakland A's Hall of Fame, and they're all for it. It's great that they appreciate the alumni, the guys that played back 30, 40 years ago and knew how great we were back then. So they're not only owners and presidents, but they're fans. And so they enjoy seeing us and inviting us back every year. I think it's great.
To listen to the full interview and much more, go to athletics.com/A'sCast.
This is Chris Townsend for the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. Great news! Our indoor dining is back, along with our beautiful patio dining. Come taste our world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 83 years. The Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek has one of the most dynamic menus, plus a full bar. Pot pies, gourmet burgers, sandwiches, salads, flatbreads, and more. Don't forget, we still do takeout and delivery. For all the information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
The Oakland Athletics begin spring training on February 25th. Now's the time to make plans to catch us in Mesa, Arizona, and enjoy the sunshine of your family and friends. Buy your tickets early for the best seats at the lowest prices as your green and gold take on the Giants, Dodgers, Padres, Angels, and more at Hohokam Stadium.
And Tony, it's a deep drive to right in the corner. Gritchick going back. He'll turn and watch it fly.
Get your tickets at athletics.com/spring. That's athletics.com/spring.
Streaming from the East Bay, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
Well, day one is in the books here at Fantasy Camp in Arizona as the sun is starting to go down in the Valley of the Sun. Just an absolute beautiful day. I mean, it doesn't get any better. And we will be back tomorrow, same time, 2 to 5 o'clock. We got double dips tomorrow. Each team is going to be playing 2 games out here. We're still going to hear from Terry Steinbach, the World Series champion, World Series MVP. Greg Catteray, former Athletic. He was on the 1988 team that won the ALCS. And then, of course, we're 1 to 4 because here it's 2 to 5 because we're still an hour ahead.
Yeah, 1
Back
to 4.
in the Bay Area, we're 1 to 4. Greg Catteray was part of that trade to bring Ricky Henderson back to the Oakland Athletics. Who else are we going to talk to tomorrow?
Not Brody. We talked to Brody Blowout.
Bobby
Brazil.
Crosby.
Bobby Crosby. Dallas
Braden.
Is it Ernie Young who's here too?
Ernie Young's here.
I think that's everyone. Right?
And we're going to talk to Dan Hayes in Minnesota about the Carlos Correa deal.
Yeah.
Because we had so many guests today. There's certain topics we were going to get in. We'll get into more things that have been going on inside Major League Baseball that are hot topics. Trevor Bauer was released by the Dodgers. He's officially out there now. You can sign him for $720,000.
Yeah, we can talk about Rafael Devers' contract and how they gave him deferred money till like 2043.
I don't know. We got to get an agent on because that's not as crazy as you think. Most deals are deferred.
I know, but it's the Red Sox. Like, you're deferring money.
Red Sox have always deferred money to Ted Williams.
Yeah,
teams have deferred. Like, if you've ever worked with any professional athlete, some guys were still getting paid by their teams 10 years later. So it's not it's like, but his is a long one.
Yeah, he initially signed, what was it, 11-year deal he signed? I think it was 11 years, and then you see now, so 11 years from now will be 2034. So 9 years is going to be deferred after that. It's not the Bobby Bonilla deal, but
I honestly don't think it's that long of a deal.
It's an 11-year, $331 million extension he signed with Boston.
And you're saying 9 years after that he'll still be getting
Yeah,
paid?
because you figure 11 years from now will be 2034.
I remember when I worked with Tom Tolbert at KMBR a long time ago, Tolbert was still getting paid by the Warriors. And he was not a prime time player on a top contract, and even he was getting deferred money.
I mean, I feel like we've seen it more now. You're right about Scherzer's money was deferred with the Nationals. I think they're still paying him.
Yeah, everybody. I mean, so it's not. I think that I think the bigger topic is getting back into these long-term deals and how crazy is these long-term deals.
Yeah, and there's an article I'll check it out later from our friend Kylie McDaniel who predicted the the Japanese starter joining the A's. I'm blanking on his name. Fujinami.
Shintaro Fujinami.
Yeah, so he has an article, the best and worst moves of the offseason. I wonder if he puts in there. I called it. I said he was going to sign with Oakland.
we need to remind him that he did that. So we'll be back tomorrow from 1 to 4 as we will have day 2 of just this fantastic opportunity that is Oakland A's fantasy camp. Give the information.
So you can, if you want to be a part of fantasy camp next year and get coached by Stu and Shooty and Dallas and watch Brody blow out his hamstring maybe again next year, fantasy camp will be January 10th through the 16th. You can get all the information at athletics.com/fantasycamp.
You know, I'm starting to think that now that we've been down here, that we may need to do this next year.
Can we make it through day 1 without blowing out a hamstring?
Yes.
I think I'm pretty confident myself that I think I can.
Well, I think what we could do, since we see each other so much, is we start playing catch.
You want to have a catch?
Having a catch. I live across the street from me is a park and 3 baseball fields.
Yeah, it's true.
So we could play catch, play long toss, take some grounders, start. So by the time we got down here, we would be ready to rock. And I want to throw a little bit because I've seen some of these hitters. I want to come after some of these guys.
There was I don't know if you saw this one. I think it might have been when Carney was on, or it might have been after. One of the catchers was left-handed. That was the last time you saw a left-handed catcher.
Scott Emerson. Scott Emerson, the pitching coach of your Oakland Athletics. That's the last guy catching I saw.
Yeah, it was
left-handed.
The battery was a left-handed pitcher, and a left-handed catcher, and probably never see that again.
This is really special. I hope you guys enjoyed this show today. I hope you enjoy tomorrow, and we can't say enough how great of an opportunity this is for everybody out there, and what a great job the Oakland Athletics are doing with this and what they've done with it for years. We're just experiencing it now, and I can't say enough. The weather here, Arizona, absolutely perfect. Once again, when people can start looking at information.
Yeah, athletics.com/fantasycamp. The dates are January 10th through the 16th of next year. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be coached by, like I mentioned, Stu, Dallas, Shooty, Carney, Terry, Bobby Crosby.
We want to thank the legend Dave Stewart, Carney Lansford, Tommy Everidge, the A's hitting coach, Adam Rosales, Shooty Babbitt, Brody Brazil.
I had the list, but I closed it. Dan Pelkey, the MVP of fantasy.
We gave Pelkey enough love. Do I have all the? Do I have all the guys? Do I have all?
Yeah, I believe we have all of them. I wrote them all down.
I'm not missing anybody. I don't want to miss anybody. Because whenever I miss somebody complains.
I'm pulling it up right now. Let me see. Make sure because I wanted to make sure I had them all written down. Yeah, you mentioned everyone.
I got everybody.
Yep.
And tomorrow, jam-packed once again. Cannot wait. Fantasy camp back here from 1 to 4 Pacific. If you're down here in the Valley of Sun, it's 2 to 5. Thank you for watching, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow from Arizona.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar.